Yo, what's going on, y'all? This is Marcus Rosa, aka Mazuma TV, back at y'all with some more boxing talk, man. I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive night. I hope you had a great day overall, man. I'm back at y'all with some more boxing talk. We're going to be speaking about Jaron Ennis pretty much being labeled as being an incomplete fighter. We definitely going to be speaking about that. We're going to speak about Xander Zayas being overlooked. Then, of course, we're going to get into some open boxing topics. But before we get into all of that, if y'all could please hit the like button on the way in, that'd be very much appreciated. We on the road to 4K. We well into the 3,400 mark, looking to crack that 3,500 mark in due time. Shout out to the nation and the mob for making this possible. I already see a couple comments in the building thus far. Shout out to everybody that's in the building. Let's go ahead, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. We on the mission, baby. You know what I mean? We're going to have a real conversation today, man. We're going to have a real conversation, and we're going to break this down as factually as possible. You know what I mean? We're going to stick by the facts. We're going to remove opinions. And, I'm not going to necessarily do some exposing, but like these guys that y'all be looking to come up with these boxing takes and stuff like that, man. And there's no disrespect to these guys, man, but a lot of these dudes cling on to feelings more than the actual factuals. You feel what I'm saying? So we definitely gonna get into that. Shout out to the little sis Marissa Alvarez in the building. What's going on, Marissa? Chris Maldonado, my high school brother. What up? Fred Rum, talk to me, man. How we feeling? Mr. Big Play Bray in the building. What's going on? How we feeling? Let me know what it is. How we feeling today? Let me know what it is, man. I hope everybody's doing well. You know what I mean? I hope everybody's family, nice and healthy, all that good shit, man. You know what I mean? We got something to talk about. It's going to be a good conversation, man. It really is. Because in all honesty, like, I'm sick of the disrespect when it comes to Jaron Ennis at this point, man. I think motherfuckers just need to be honest and just say that they don't really want to see this dude do well. That they're not really huge fans of them, man. Like, that's just the reality of the situation. And we gonna break it down, man, because I came across a video today on my Twitter timeline by somebody who is like a well-known name in the boxing community. No disrespect to him. I think I've even seen him in my comment section before. So, at least there was one point in time where he was taking the time to watch Mazuma TV. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, we definitely gonna speak about his take on what he feels like, Boots is, and we gonna see if we deem his opinion to be credible or not. Because one of the things that I really get into, one of the things that I get into when I'm listening to people's takes is if they're providing, like I say all the time, it's like with this. When you're making points, it's almost like an argumentative essay, right? I don't know if you guys ever did that in high school or whatever the case is, but you make a thesis statement and you need facts. You know what I mean? You need quotes. You need certain things in order to back that thesis statement up. That's how I always approach my takes. You know what I'm saying? Like when we was criticizing Alicia Baumgardner, yesterday, if you didn't check out that live, please feel free to go check that out. And, I was saying why I felt like Alicia Baumgardner was in the wrong, brought up some factual things, and, we went about our day as such. You know what I mean? It's just hard to really reject what I'm saying because what I am bringing up is the actual factual. So we definitely going to get into this, and then we're going to talk about the odds because, man, the odds are slowly but surely, according to, what you call them, the bookies, whatever you want to call them, the guys that run these, gambling platforms. Xander Zayas is really the underdog going into this fight. You know what I'm saying? I just want to bring up the odds real quick just to see. But let's check this out. According to FanDuel, Boots is a minus 450. So a 4.5 to 1 favorite, I guess you would say. And Xander Zayas is a 3-1 underdog. So we definitely gonna speak about this, man. And I'm gonna say this too. Sometimes I be feeling like these dudes that be making these, these takes on the YouTube platform, I think they purposely go against the grain. You know what I mean? Just in case that, upset does happen, they can sit there and be like, see, I told you. See, I told you. And I've seen multiple platforms. I'm not speaking about this guy specifically, but I've seen multiple platforms make predictions, right? The prediction comes out to be totally wrong, and then they go on to delete the videos, delete the posts, delete the tweets. It's like, bro, y'all dudes, y'all pussy, bro. Like y'all be real like pussy, like, cause I done got everything that I post on my channel is still up to date. You know what I mean? Whether I was on the money, whether I was dead wrong, I have no problem being right or wrong. That just comes with life. If you're 100% right all of the time, you're not a fucking human. You know what I mean? I don't know anything that I've ever come across in life that was 100% from the field. You know what I'm saying? So that's just me. But Relish 735 said the hate is forced. That's what it's feeling like at this point. You know what I mean? And I don't really be getting it because I guarantee you that if Jaron Ennis' name was like Connor, and instead of Ennis, his last name was like fucking Brooke or motherfucking Simmons or motherfucking Walsh, we wouldn't be having this type of hate coming his way. You feel what I'm saying? We really wouldn't. But we gonna talk about it. Shout out to my boy Ralph in the building. What's going on? My boy Ralph said everyone from the May Pack scene from the 2010s. Remember, everyone deleted their channels after the fight. Yeah, bro, there was channels that was like Pacquiao, Pacquiao, Pacquiao. That's all they spoke about for the 5-6 years that their channels was up. You know what I mean? Oh, Manny Pacquiao's gonna do this. He's gonna beat Floyd. He's gonna knock Floyd out. Blah blah blah. Mayweather's a duck. Blah blah blah. Then the fight gets made. They pushing Pacquiao, pushing Pacquiao, pushing Pacquiao. Pacquiao loses. Channels wiped off the face of this earth, and then they come in disguise as other channels. They come back with different personalities and shit like that. And you know that's the type of community that we're a part of. Unfortunately, a lot of men who run from accountability and disguise themselves. You know what I mean? Weirdo shit. But anyways, man, we got 16 people in the building, so we're gonna go ahead and have this conversation. Shout out to everybody that's in the building. You know what I mean? So before we get into this video, I want to know, I'm gonna ask the chat. Shout out to the 16 people that's in the building. What do you deem to be a complete fighter? What do y'all deem to be a complete fighter? What is a complete fighter to y'all? I'm gonna ask y'all that, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna point out all the comments as they come in. What do you deem to be a complete fighter? Because before we have this discussion, we gotta know what we're talking about. We gotta know the definition of the topic at hand. So when you look at the sport of boxing, you look at fighters and stuff like that, what in your eyes is a complete fighter? You could bring up some examples if you would like. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is that you feel is right. What is a complete fighter to y'all, man? Cause I'm gonna have to school these niggas, man. I'm gonna have to seriously school these niggas. So before we get into that, let's have a conversation. What do y'all deem to be a complete fighter? Big Soldier MX with the first response. He says, being solid at defense, offense, and IQ. That's well put. Simple, to the point, well said. Okay. Mr. Big Play Bray says, defense, box inside and outside. You wrote defiance, but I think you meant to say defense. Okay. Bradley Red Rum says, defensively responsible, offensively aggressive with ring IQ, good footwork, quick to adjust. So just to paraphrase, pretty much to sum up what you said, responsible defense, offensively aggressive. I don't think you need to be offensively aggressive in order to be complete. You need to have sound offense though, for sure. Because offense is, you're describing the type of offense, right? Like to me, it's not a deal breaker if you're not aggressive. As long as you're offensively sound, that's okay to me. But that's your opinion, Red Rum. I don't think you need to be aggressive offensively in order to be a complete fighter. Because I look at guys like Pernell Whitaker, who have been aggressive at times, but for the most part, he was slick. He was a finesser. He was an outboxer. You feel what I'm saying? When he was at his peak, he had dog in him. Don't get it fucked up. Pernell had dog in him. But like, at the highest moments, he was sound, but it wasn't like him being offensively aggressive wasn't always his go-to. You know what I mean? Floyd at the later half of his career, he wasn't offensively aggressive, but he was a complete fighter. So, that's one thing. But I respect your opinion, brother. Rouse said, yeah, big play, Bray. You meant to say defense. Okay, cool. Rouse said, being well-rounded in every skill set all across the board and can make adjustments. I think adaptability is very important. I think it's very important. Big Soldier MX says Sugar Ray Leonard and Bud Crawford complete. I agree. Relis says footwork inside and outside. Most importantly, good jab and reflexes. Okay. That's the first time I heard reflexes brought up. Big Soldier MX said you ain't got to be perfect. Well, there's no such thing as a perfect fighter. You know what I mean? For you to be a perfect fighter, you know what I mean? That's like saying you a perfect human. There's no such thing. You will never be perfect at anything that you do in life. You could be great. You could be the best at it. But to say you're perfect, nah. We human. We could never be perfect. That's just me. And I've seen complete fighters get their ass whooped. I've seen complete fighters lose. Just because you're a complete fighter doesn't mean that you're exempt from taking a loss, getting knocked out, whatever the case is. Precisely says a boxer can adapt to anything and has good shot selection, along with good offense, defense, etc. Okay. I like it. Oh man. Bray says also a great boxer also a great boxer was a great corner to slow you down and tell you what you see. Part of being a great boxer is having a great corner to slow you down and tell you what you see. I do think that your team definitely helps you with being a complete fighter, because part of being a complete fighter is listening and following through with the game plan, the instructions, etc. That's good insight, man. So there's some great answers in the building. I'm gonna tell y'all exactly based off of like my experience. You know what I mean? With the time that I've spent in boxing, I see the comments coming in. Oh wait, what's that? No, never mind. I'm tripping. My fault, y'all. Like I see the chat jump and I automatically assume that it's a comment, but StreamYard be on some weird shit. So, what do I deem to be a complete fighter? Yeah, I mean, my answer is pretty similar to yours, but you know what I'm saying? Part of what I feel like makes a great fighter is definitely the ability to adjust. You know what I'm saying? But let me make it even more simple than that. Hold on. Also, you can compete with different styles, pure boxer, puncher, and pressure fighter. Great answers in the building. I mean, that's how you know we got a knowledgeable chat. Shout out to the chat. One thing that helps me feel like a fighter is a complete fighter is their variety in offense. You know what I mean? They could attack in multiple ways, use their jab, combinations, go to the body. I feel like all of that versatility right there is definitely what helps you be on route to being a complete fighter. Being able to fight at different ranges, long range, mid range, inside work. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, but they are effective at being first and being second. Meaning you could lead, you could control you could be first at all times, or if you want to, you could even be the counter puncher and still be as effective. You know what I'm saying? But so not just being like a big, not like being just like this big puncher, because there are big punchers out here, but they don't have this, right? Cool. But like you're a thinker offensively. You're setting these shots up. You know what I'm saying? You see the openings that your opponent's given defensively that you feel like you could take advantage of. You notice that they leave more openings when they're throwing punches, so you decide to play counter puncher, or you notice that they're not punching when you're punching, so you just decide to lead. Like, we tapping into IQ there. But offensive variety is definitely one of the best things to have, in your toolbox when being a complete fighter. Also, just like y'all said in the chat, defense. You know what I mean? I don't think that you could be a punching bag and be looked at as a complete fighter. Now, do a lot of complete fighters get hit? Yeah, we've seen Sugar Ray Leonard get hit. We've seen Terrence Crawford get hit. We've seen a lot. We've seen Floyd Mayweather get hit multiple times. And there was this stigma about Floyd coming up in his career where they said that he got hit too much. Believe it or not, that was a stigma about him. When he was sitting there trading with people, when he was Pretty Boy Floyd and he was getting hurt by Chop Chop, getting his shit rung by Zab Judah and an unofficial and like an uncalled knockdown, when he was getting hit by what the fuck, Emmanuel Augustus and shit like that. And you know, even in his later fights, like Miguel Cotto, just because you're a complete fighter doesn't mean that you're exempt from like you just won't get hit. But defense is very important to have for the most part, right? We're talking about head movement. We're talking about footwork. We're talking about, blocking shots, parrying shots, things of that nature. You know what I mean? The more defensive variety you have, the more you will be looked at as a complete fighter, because there are people who have defense, but they only have one line of defense, whether it's their high guard, whether it's their foot movement, whether it's their upper body movement, just like how I said, offensive variety, I think defensive variety is very important as well, because you may be good with the high guard, but then you may be going up against an opponent who is a master at punching around the high guard, punching through the high guard. You know what I mean? Like Bermane Stiverne had a high guard against Deontay Wilder. What did he do? He put his right hand right inside the high guard. Like Vasyl Lomachenko. You know what I mean? If you had a high guard, he was swiping your guard down and shooting a shot to hit your temple and knock your equilibrium off. You know what I'm saying? Like there's ways to get around that. So, that high guard might work for fighter A, but it might not work for fighter B. So, if you approach them like that, that could be a recipe for disaster. So maybe head movement will work against fighter B, but then, head movement might not work for fighter C. So you might have to use your footwork, your lateral movement. You know what I'm saying? So defensive variety is just as important as offensive variety. Big Soldier MX said, is Benavidez a complete pressure fighter? I think he is, man, because when you look at David Benavidez, for one, he has great conditioning. I think you need to have great conditioning in order to be a pressure fighter. What's the point of being a pressure fighter if you don't have the conditioning necessary to put the pressure and let your hands go against your opponent? Not only that, he punches in combinations, volume-based, good punch placement, could throw every punch in the book. You know what I'm saying? Not only that, but David Benavidez also has an underrated defense. There's not many times where you see David Benavidez's face getting all busted up. I was watching him versus Alexander Volzdik the other day, and he's slipping shots. He's catching shots. Like Benavidez, but I think the only downfall with David Benavidez is his footwork, but his footwork is effective enough to cut off the ring. We've seen him do it with, what was that? Ronald Ellis. We've seen it with Kyron Davis. We've seen it with Caleb Plant, who's known for his mobility in the ring. We've seen him do it with David Morrell. Like his footwork isn't the best, obviously, but he's a complete pressure fighter. Absolutely. Absolutely. Technique Pimp, what up? What's going on? Everyone has a plan A, but the special fighters have plan B and C. Yo, Rellis, that's a great comment right there. I need to highlight that. I'm gonna put a star next to that one. I don't know if that's gonna show on y'all side, but it shows on mine. You know what I mean? That's a great comment right there. I like that. Anyways, to continue on with what I feel like is a great pressure, a complete fighter, defensive variety, offensive variety. Then we get into ring IQ. You definitely need to be an intelligent fighter and need to be thinking several steps ahead of your opponent to be looked at as a complete fighter. You know what I mean? You have to have the abilities to make adjustments mid-fight. You know what I mean? You might have had to, and just like, I heard Dmitry Bivol speak about this, the Soviet style. And over, in Russia, when you're in front of a boxer, you fight them. When you have a fighter in front of you, you box them. I heard Keith Thurman mention this in the past. He considers himself a yin-yang fighter. What is that? When you're boxing, when you're being calm, when you're boxing, I'm being aggressive. When you're being aggressive, I'm boxing. So you need to have ring IQ. And part of having a ring IQ is understanding, what could hurt you and what could help you in the ring. You know what I'm saying? If you're in there with a brawler that specializes in brawling, like a complete brawler, it wouldn't be so wise to brawl with that person. If you're in there with a master counterpuncher, like a Juan Manuel Marquez, probably wouldn't be best to play the counterpunching game with him. If you're in there with somebody who's a beast at long range, I don't think you could really afford to, fight him from the outside. You know what I'm saying? So ring IQ is very important. You know what I mean? As long as you had that ability to adjust, you could go a long way. And I know everybody likes to, steal Mayweather's quotes and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And be like, oh, I have the ability to adjust. But very rarely do you find fighters who can adjust on the fly. You know what I'm saying? For example, with Jaron Ennis, since a lot of people were speaking about how he's not complete and shit like that, I've seen Boots make adjustments in the ring several times. I've seen him make, especially from a defensive standpoint. I remember when, for example, I remember the Thomas Delorme fight, right? He had hurt the Thomas Delorme early on in the fight. And there was a moment where Thomas Delorme, they had gotten into an exchange and he hit Boots with I think it was like an overhand right? And I'm not gonna say it hurt Boots, but it definitely got his attention, right? Because his lead hand was down when that overhand right came. So when Boots got in position to fire a gun, he made the adjustment right off of the fly and kept that high. He brought that hand up while he was shooting the other one. And when Thomas Delorme shot the shot again, he was able to successfully catch it. Not only that, I've seen Boots out of position in fights, and when shots come his way, he made the adjustment within the fly to roll with the shot. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what it is. J-Day says the narrative on Boots now is that he crosses his feet a lot, but I don't see it. Yeah, I heard Tim Bradley speak on that, and my whole thing is, if Boots is consistently crossing his feet, why don't we ever really see him off balance so much? Because if you're crossing your feet, you're very prone to being off balance, falling over, shit like that. And I've seen Boots like off balance at certain moments, but that's basically everybody. Like we seen Shakur Stevenson off balance with William Cepeda, and people thought that William Cepeda hurt him. We seen Floyd Mayweather off balance because he will overextend on the right hand and his back foot will come over his lead foot. Like these happen, but guess what? Floyd Mayweather is a complete fighter. People make it seem like because you have something that may be looked at as a flaw, that that just completely exits you out of the equation of being a complete fighter. I could show you many flaws that Floyd Mayweather had in the ring. Not many, but there's a lot of things that Floyd did wrong in the ring that, you know what I'm saying? Like when Floyd jabbed to the body, his right hand will always be down. That's technically that's a technical flaw. Doesn't take away from the fact that Floyd's a complete fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like it's very rare that you find a fighter that's always in position. Very rare. But regardless, Boots may get a little over aggressive at times, and you know what I mean? He may lose sight of his footwork and shit like that, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he's not a complete fighter. So let's continue. I don't want to be, harping on things too long. So ring IQ, very, very important. Setting traps, using feints, knowing when to, like I said, the yin yang fighter, knowing when to press a fighter, knowing when to box. That's very important. You know what I'm saying? Now we start getting into like the physical attributes. You know what I'm saying? We talking about the ability to take a shot, stamina, which is conditioning, speed, power, the physical attributes that a fighter has. If they have all of those things, that's a great thing to have en route to becoming a complete fighter. Not only that, but this is a 12-round era, right? There was a 15-round era, there was a 12-round era. Was that fighter able to perform in the first round like he did in the 12th round? Cool. And not only that, but when the pressure is on them or when they getting into a firefight, do they fade? Let me see what the people talking about. Young T said only the great ones get overly criticized. There's not one fighter in history without a flaw. If it was, they would never get hit. That's a fact. That's the main point that I made, brother. That's all I'm saying. And one of the things that I think isn't really taken into consideration that I feel like all great fighters have in common, and for people that say that boxing's a majority of boxing is mental, but they never count this. They never really take this attribute into consideration when talking about complete fighters. Is your mental fortitude? You know what I mean? Your ability to stay composed under the fire. You know, being able to fight through adversity. You know, a mentality that simply doesn't break. I feel like that's very important. And I see somebody bring up Andre Ward's name. Andre Ward's mental toughness was on a different level. You know what I mean? Floyd Mayweather's toughness was on a different level. People made it seem like Floyd was soft or, you know, he was scary. Floyd was a fucking dog. Floyd was a dog. Like, I seen that man get his shit rocked by Shane Mosley. Legs gone momentarily. And he, with wobbly legs, he told Shane, "You're going to have to kill me," and proceeded to step to Shane and bring the fight to him. And didn't get hit with that same shot again throughout the duration of the fight, and went on to beat the dog shit out of Shane Mosley for the entirety of the fight. You know what I'm saying? You said drop by Judah. Yeah, definitely. That glove touched the canvas. The ref ain't counted, but we saw it, and we know the rules of boxing. That was a knockdown. But guess what? Guess what? Floyd made that motherfucking adjustment, and Ward zapped Judah ass out, pause, and went ahead and got that unanimous decision. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, those are the 5 things that I really take into consideration, man. Like, a complete fighter to me is somebody who has like no obvious weaknesses. That's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying? Can they have weaknesses? Yeah, but not Jones that like jump off of the page. Like, for example, Teofimo Lopez, phenomenal athlete. He's not a complete fighter because we've seen what his kryptonite is. You know, Amir Khan and his height, phenomenal fighter. Not complete, though. His ability to take a punch was terrible. You know what I mean? That's an obvious weakness. Teofimo Lopez's his inability to, you know, fight, to adjust to outboxers, an obvious weakness. You know, Ryan Garcia's skills are, you know, great hand speed, good power, but clearly lacks the fundamentals, skill set, lacks mental toughness. Solid fighter, not a complete fighter. When I look at Jaron Ennis, I see everything that I mentioned. I see that in Jaron Ennis. And I know a lot of you, oh man, you just being biased because you're from Philly and you know Boots. First of all, me and Boots don't know each other that well. I've always been a supporter of him, but it's not like we ever chilled, we kicked it. Me and him are not best friends. I'll be surprised if the nigga even remembers my name. Like, we not even like all like that. You know what I mean? When they request a sit, you know, he doesn't reach out to me personally. You know what I mean? Y'all, you know, there's people that know him that reach out to me, and then we are able to connect from there. You know what I'm saying? But when you talk about offensive variety, that's Boots. When you're talking about defensive variety, that's Boots. I've seen Boots make guys miss by a country mile. I've seen him use his you know, I've seen him turn fighters. You know, I've seen him use lateral movement. I've seen him use about every source of defense that was available. High guard. I've seen him catch shots. I've seen him slip shots. I've seen him roll underneath shots. I've seen him use his feet to turn his opponents, which is a great defensive weapon as well, because as long as you're turning an opponent, they won't be in position to punch you unless they reset. You know what I mean? When you're talking about, he definitely know the ropes. I mean, like I said, you know what I mean? I don't think he even knows me like on a first-hand basis, like my first name. I don't think he knows me on a first-name basis. Like, we not cool like that. You feel what I'm saying? Like, we've interacted in the past. Like, we even played each other like on PS. Like, we played each other on like PS4. Like, we played 2K against each other before. But that was like when nobody really knew who Boots was. You know what I'm saying? But like when we talking about ring IQ, you know what I'm saying? He definitely set traps. You know what I mean? He definitely utilizes feints. He knows when to press. He knows when to box. Boots gives you a little bit of everything when in these fights. Go if you want to look at an example, go watch the Romain Villa fight. You know, there was moments where he was just using his jab and keeping Romain Villa at range. There was times where he was running Romain Villa into shots. There was times where he was fighting him on the inside. A well-rounded performance from a complete fighter, right? Then we're talking about physical attributes. Boots has a long reach. Boots has shown the ability to take a shot. He does show great stamina. He shows great power. He shows great punch placement. we're not even gonna get into punch placement because that's more of a skill. When we're talking about physical tools and conditioning, we don't really see Boots, fade under pressure. Mind you, a lot of these dudes don't make it the distance with Boots, but for the most part, when we've seen him go to decision with guys like Karen, we ain't see him fatigue against Karen. We ain't see him, you know what I mean? Boots is somebody who does 4-minute rounds regularly in the gym and spars 12 rounds effortlessly. I've never heard of Boots ever having a conditioning issue. You know what I mean? He don't got the Caleb Plant disorder and none of that. You feel what I mean? Boots has a phenomenal gas tank. And then when you're talking about mental toughness, for somebody to continue pressing on like Boots does in the ring, and you know what I mean? He hasn't really been in there with somebody who's really had, made him face any adversity. But part of mental toughness is going ahead and trying to fight the best competition possible. Part of mental toughness is having confidence within yourself. And when you see this man rolling the dice and doing his best to fight, notable opponents like Virgil Ortiz, try to fight guys like Brian Norman, trying to fight guys like Xander Zayas, who he just inked a fight with. Mark, do you think Boots has a better jab than Xander? I think Xander's more quality of the jab, Boots, but who uses it more? Xander. But I think if they were to have a jab off, I think Boots would have I think quality jab, Boots has it. But Xander, a lot of his offense is based off of the jab. You feel what I'm saying? So Boots has a little bit more dimensions to his game where he does, he has a jab, but he doesn't always have to resort to it in order to be effective. Xander is fundamental. He's textbook. So a lot of his combinations, go look at his combinations. If y'all ever did pad work before, go look at Xander's combinations. A lot of his shots is shit that you work on in the gym. You know what I mean? Jab, jab, right hand, left hook to the body. Right hand, left hook, right hand. Left hook, right hand, left hook. You know what I'm saying? And he's versatile with it, to the body and the head and shit like that. But Xander's extremely textbook. You know what I mean? A lot of his combinations is when you learn. A lot of the combinations he chew is learned like in when you coming up in the gym, when you're being taught the fundamentals. And there's nothing wrong with that because they call Errol Spence Mr. Fundamental. They call him the Tim Duncan of boxing, and look how far he got. Three out of the three major titles out of the 4 in the welterweight division when welterweight was stacked. You know what I mean? Errol Spence was a phenomenal fighter. He was textbook. Xander is similar in that way. Not as powerful, in my opinion, not as brutal, not as vicious as Errol Spence, but he is textbook. So regardless, let's continue on. When we talking about physical attributes, Boots has a significant reach for his height. You know what I'm saying? When you talk about mental toughness, Boots clearly has that. I don't think you become a standout amateur and Olympic alternate. I don't think you become a unified champion lacking mental toughness. Somebody would have thrown you off by now. Karen Chukazan gave him 2 tough fights. I ain't even gonna lie to you. When he was giving him the movement in the first fight, anybody would have gotten frustrated and would have had a terrible performance. Boots dominated every round. Then when Karen was like, yo, the movement, this shit ain't working. I lost every round doing that. Now I need to step to him. There was moments where him and Karen was getting into shootouts and Boots still found a way to get the job done. You feel what I'm saying? So with everything I just listed as to why I feel like, what makes a complete fighter, Boots checks all of those lists. And I could literally provide a fight for each motherfucking bullet point to prove that. Offensive variety, that's the majority of Jaron Ennis' fights. You go watch the Romain Villa fight. You go watch the Stanionis fight for information. If you want to see offensive variety, if you want to see defense, he showed defense a few times. The Romain Villa fight, which was one of my favorite performances. You know what I'm saying? You go watch the Armando Alvarez fight. That was an undefeated fighter that he was facing on Showbox. His first televised bout, in my opinion. He put on a great display of defense, and he was extremely versatile with his approach and how the way he was defending himself. You know what I'm saying? Ring IQ. I feel like he showcased that in a lot of his fights. There's not many fights where Boots doesn't utilize ring IQ in terms of setting traps, using feints, setting his combinations up. You know what I mean? Running opponents in the shots when they feel like they have an open avenue. You know what I mean? You can go watch the Abreu fight. You know what I mean? That was a beautiful uppercut that he ran him into. He set a trap. Abreu bid on it. He paid the price for that. You know what I mean? A sing in the building. He said Xander's going to look a lot bigger than Boots in the press conference tomorrow because Boots slim right now. If Boots is slim right now, Xander in trouble, man. If Boots see, this is what people are not taking into consideration. Boots has been training because y'all recency bias is making y'all forget certain shit. He was getting ready for Virgil. You know what I'm saying? So he was getting ready. He thought that was the fight that he was gonna have, and unfortunately, that shit didn't work out. So what did he do? He stayed down till he came up. You know what I mean? He stood in the gym. He continued working. Xander Zayas was a fight that was offered to him after Top Rank signed the deal with the Zone. They made it happen, right? So Boots is sharp. He's more than ready. You know what I mean? From what I understand, he's getting his sparring together for that fight, and it's going to be what it's going to be. You know what I mean? But Xander Zayas blowing up to whatever weight it is, that shit's not a good thing, man. Because I'm hearing motherfuckers talk about it. He be blowing up to 190 pounds. I even heard people say as high as 200. Bro, that's not a good thing, man. You blowing up to 190 pounds when you fight at 154, bro, that's a death wish going up against somebody like Boots, in my opinion. I mean, everybody keep talking about what Boots doing wrong. How about Xander's preparation? How about his lack of discipline? That's not a concern for y'all? Somebody who blows up 36 pounds, who blows up basically 40 fucking pounds outside of camp, that's not a concern for y'all? Coming in 40 pounds, having to cut 40 pounds in 8 weeks, that's not a concern for y'all? You think with him having to cut that much weight, because Xander is big as shit right now, I ain't gonna lie to you. You think him being that big is okay? Like, you think that's gonna help him in them later rounds? Maybe Xander got to push a little bit harder to get that weight off this time around. He might have to leave some fight in the gym in order to make weight. You think that that's going to help him in rounds 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, if it even go there? Come on, man. A lot of people bringing up just Boots' flaws or what Boots got set up against him. How about Xander? They say fighters are made in the gym, champions are made outside of the gym, right? What is Xander doing outside of the gym? He working, but there's no reason why you are 100. From what and Gabriel Zotto said it. He said that he worked out with Xander one time. He was like, "Damn, man, you get big," and then revealed on inside the ring that Xander gets up to 190 pounds. That's not a good quality, man. That shit cool when you young. That shit's cool when you young. You know what I'm saying? And you could afford to put your body through that much stress, man. But that shit catches up, especially when you Xander age 23, 24, 25. That's around the age that Devin Haney started to feel that weight cut from 35. Remember that shit? How old was Devin Haney when he became undisputed against George Kambosos and he looked like motherfucking Skeletor on that scale? That shit is real, man. Shit is real. Them early 20s, that's when that shit start to catch up. Them early to mid 20s. Shit's starting to get a little bit harder to get that weight off. You know what I mean? And Boots is fresh to the 154-pound division. Fresh. So this 7 pounds, this shit is still coming in very handy for him. That weight, and he was making 47. You know what I mean? He just felt like it was taken away from his performance staying there so long. So he moved up to 54 where he's replenished. He's feeling great, very much energized, not having to sacrifice as much to make the weight. He ain't got to worry about no IBF rehydration clause. Boots has the advantage, man. I'm telling you, in terms of preparation. So I said all of that shit to say we 40 minutes in. Shout out to the 34 people that's in the building. I want to provide this clip from BT. I think his name like Brandon Taylor or something like that. Shout out to True School Sports. You know what I mean? We have a difference in opinion, obviously, but I'm not going to go out of my way to disrespect you, brother, because this is your opinion. However, we're going to definitely break down your opinion and try to get an understanding for what you're trying to say. So let's go ahead and hear what Brandon Taylor has to say, because he does have a lot of subs. He does. A lot of people do seem to, respect his takes. So let's hear what he has to say.
But there's some things. There's some gaping flaws. He better tighten up for this fight. And let this be a warning. I'm being very honest here. If the Jaron Ennis fans get mad at me, I don't give a fuck. I'm just telling y'all the truth. There's some things he needs to tighten up here. Otherwise, he's gonna lose on points. All right, he's gonna lose clearly on points if he don't tighten these things up. And I know Boots don't think that, which is fine. You gotta be confident. But Boots better take this very seriously because he's fighting. He's not fighting. This isn't Neanderthal Amanta Stanionis.
Neanderthal Stanionis is fucking hilarious. But what I'm gonna say is, what are the gaping flaws? I don't know if maybe he left it outside of this video to whoever edited this clip. But I'm trying to figure out if you're gonna be saying, because me personally, if I'm gonna say that a fighter's flawed, I'm going to say how they're flawed. You know what I'm saying? Like if I say somebody's overrated, I'm gonna tell you why. If I feel like a fighter is an incomplete fighter or not that good of a fighter, I'm gonna tell you why. So I'm trying to figure out, if you say somebody has gaping holes, gaping to me is like big holes, like obvious holes, like unmistakable holes, right? So when somebody says that, the first thing I'm going to ask is, okay, how so? What do you see? I didn't hear him really provide that just yet, but we gonna continue. So he says that Boots has gaping holes. So let's see if he ever tells us why. And he says that he has to tighten those up before he fights Xander. Okay. From what I understand, he's saying that Boots, he don't really care about what Boots fans have to say. Meanwhile, from what I understand, this guy, Brandon Taylor, is from Florida, and Xander is from Florida as well. So you don't really care what Philly fans have to say about a Philly fighter, but you expect a Florida guy to give a fuck about what they have to say to defend a Florida fighter. You got to make it make sense. You can't be acting like you don't give a fuck what Philly fans have to say about a Philly fighter, but meanwhile you want us to listen to what a Florida nigga got to say about a Florida fighter, or respect what you got to say about a Florida fighter. I don't know. You got to make that shit make sense to me. But it is what it is. Yeah, we just gotta pack him, y'all. Yeah. We just gotta pack him, y'all. It's a lot of distractions in the building, but we gonna continue with this boxing talk. So let's get it.
Mazda Stanionis marching forward. Stanionis wants to fight. Stanionis punch. Stanionis doesn't move head. Like it ain't that. This ain't the Angolan Usima Lima. This ain't that. This ain't them guys been fighting. Them like these fighters that are strong fighters, like your David Avanesians, your Roman Villas, your Amata Stanionis, Limas. These guys are strong fighters. They're rugged fighters. But they're Neanderthals. Boxing IQ wise, they are Neanderthals. They don't have the smarts to fight on that top level. And when you fight Jaron Ennis,
Stanionis don't got what it take to fight at a high level. Meanwhile, Stanionis was a world champion, just like Jaron Ennis was. If you don't think much of their IQ, that's okay. But classifying them as, dumb boxers or like Neanderthal boxers, that's kind of crazy to me. But, I don't know, bro. We like in an era now where like champions just get disrespected. And I don't really give a fuck how they became world champion or whether they fought for the belt or received the belt. Obviously, they worked to get to the point that they're in, so they need to be addressed as such. That's just my opinion. Stanionis, I remember in the lead up to the fight, there was a lot of people who thought Stanionis was going to beat Boots. Yo, Chet, if I'm tripping, let me know. Y'all remember clear as day. Oh, well, Stanionis got a jab and Boots get hit a lot, man. Stanionis got an underrated jab. It's like, and then when Boots watches Stanionis, then Stanionis ain't fighting this long. Who was Stanionis really? He was a good enough fighter for the Ring Magazine to be put up for the fight, and the Ring Magazine ain't putting their belt up unless the number one guy fights the number two guy. But I digress. Let's continue on. But this, Brandon Taylor doesn't really think too much of Stanionis You know, Uzma Lima, who was a top 10 fighter in an action-packed 154-pound division. Okay, cool.
Your skills and your smarts better be on that top level, right? Xander Zayas does have the skill. That's why he's unified champion, right? If you listen to Jaron,
that's why Xander Zayas is a unified champion. Okay, so since we're discrediting Jaron Ennis's previous opponents, Xander Zayas fought Jorge Garcia Perez, who, although he beat Charles Conwell, wasn't a champion. He wasn't a notable name in the 154-pound division. And then he went on to fight Abbas Barao, who, you know, was an unknown champion and wasn't the biggest name at 54 either. You know, you beat Yoenis Tellez, but Yoenis Tellez was a guy who had a WBC, what was it, the WBA fucking regular title or some shit, and then you beat somebody for the regular title, then you got elevated. So yeah, you beat Yoenis Tellez. Yeah, Jorge Garcia Perez beat Charles Conwell, but you know, neither one of them were considered at the top of the division neither. So Stanionis is a Neanderthal. All these motherfuckers that Boots fought had Neanderthal mentalities. In your mind, they were low IQ guys. But what did Jorge Garcia Perez do to be considered, this high level, you know, intelligent boxer? What did Abbas Barao do to prove that he's this high level intelligent boxer? You claim that Xander Zayas is a high level boxer. That's why he's unified champion. Boots was a unified champion, and off of one of his victories, he beat Stanionis. Stanionis is a Neanderthal boxer to you. He's not a credible champion in your opinion. So I don't really understand that viewpoint. So y'all see where I'm coming from, right? Like Xander Zayas is a high level boxer. That's why he's a unified champion. You didn't bring up none of his opponents. You didn't nitpick his opponents like you did with Jaron Ennis. Jaron Ennis was a unified champion too. He was a unified champion too. And he beat the number 2 guy in the division in order to become unified. I didn't see Xander do that. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not going to disrespect the dude True School. I'm not going to do that. He's been in the comments before. He supported the channel. You know, it's cool. He supported the channel in the past. So I'm not going to go out of my way to call him dumb or none of that shit. I'm just pointing out what I feel like is unfair and could be looked at as contradictory as well. Stanionis, Neanderthal, not an intelligent boxer, but Jorge Garcia Perez, who was unable to make adjustments, it was a one-dimensional fighter. That's not a low IQ boxer in your brain. Then Abbas Barao, also a one-dimensional fighter, isn't a low IQ fighter neither. I just don't understand this mentality, to be honest with you. They send you the link. All right. I'm about to bring Jamil up here. Hold on. Send me a link. You know what I mean? So I'm already pointing out a couple flaws right here, man. And I'm noticing, like, I just seen that Tim Bradley put together. You said play that video. All right, bet. Yo, Jamil, I'm going to do that for you, but I'm going to send you the link as well. Give me 1 second. But I want to finish playing this video. Hold on. All right, that's the link right there for Jamil. And I got the video right here. I'm gonna play it once I'm done with this video. Just noticing that. You know what I'm saying? Boost has gaping holes. He never told us what the gaping holes are. Then you went on to say that you discredited Jaron Ennis's opponents, but Stanionis is he was a more like credible or notable name than Abbas Barao and a fucking Jorge Garcia Perez. You know what I'm saying? Like Jorge Garcia Perez wasn't even a champion. He fought for a vacant belt. So one of Xander's wins was for a vacant title. And, you know, so Jorge Garcia Perez was never technically a champion. And then Abbas Barao was elevated to champion off of beating a WBA regular champion in Yoenis Tellez. I give Xander credit for both of those guys. But when you say that one guy has fought low IQ boxers and then the other one hasn't, doesn't really make sense to me. It makes me feel like you have some sort of narrative that you're trying to push, or you have some sort of bias that, and that's why he brought up in the beginning, oh, man, the Boots fans, oh man, I don't care. It's like, you know that you're about to say some bullshit. You know that you're going to get called out for that bullshit, but you're still going to say it anyway. So it is what it is. Yo, Jamil, what up?
Play that video, Mark.
You want me to play? So skip this shit?
Skip it. Play the video. How much have you played so far?
I'm like halfway through it.
Skip it.
All right.
Play the video.
All right. I'm gonna follow. I'm gonna take your word for it. Let's go ahead and load this up.
Yo, I don't care if they my friends. We pulling cards tonight, yo.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You know,
he's
that's
my friend.
You know that's what I'm into though.
Yeah, but he's my friend, and I'm not going to say nothing that I wouldn't say to him. We pulling cards tonight.
Oh yeah, that's what I get into. You came to the right place, brother. You came to the right place. That's what I love to do. But all right, let's play this video right here. And who made this video? Amino Boxing. Shout out to Amino Boxing. And he put together a video, and the title says, "Is Jaron Ennis the most hated boxer by media?" Okay, it's an interesting title. Let's hear it.
They doing this shit again. They're about to run the same play they ran with Montes Stanionis. They about to run that same play again with Xander Zayas. They don't want to give Boots no motherfucking credit. But we on their ass this time. We know what play y'all running this time. We on y'all ass, man. We not letting that shit ride again. You know? Before that Stanionis fight, all these guys.
Shit, I'm not gonna get in trouble for this video, right?
No. What you mean, by permission or something like that?
Yeah, like this shit right here with Boots and Stanionis fighting.
I don't think so. But if you wanna,
I mean, his video's still up, so I think I'll be straight.
Yeah.
All right.
Guys was hyping up Stanionis. This is 1 versus 2. You know, this is for the Ring magazine. Boots is finally stepping up, right? But after Boots stumped a mud hole in his ass, they said he still ain't fought nobody. An Olympian undefeated champion in the welterweight division is a nobody to these guys. But before the fight, he was a somebody. Let's take a quick trip down memory lane and see what they was talking about before the Stanionis fight.
Now that they're closing in on a deal for a fight in April, no deal yet though. And I say again, this is a big step up for Boots, who hasn't really faced anybody tough yet. Stanionis brings the pressure, he can punch, and I hope the fight is going to get done. That will be a Matchroom show on DAZN.
I'm telling you, while Boots is trying to break Stanionis' high guard, he's going to get caught with some shit. And I hope Boots can handle his power, because if Boots can't handle his power, he's going to get stumbled.
Jaron Ennis and Stanionis. Let me tell you something. Jaron Ennis passes the eye test. He's never been in a fight for me to convincingly say he's passed the test. He's never been through adversity. Never been hurt. Never really been hit and clipped to have him days. It hasn't happened. So for everybody saying Jaron Boots Ennis is the truth, he beats everybody, hold your horses. Stop taking it to the stupid. He does pass the eye test, I'll tell you that. But this fight against Stanionis, who's 15-0, and Jaron Ennis 33-0, this is the fight, in my opinion, that's going to say if he passes the test. Stanionis is a tough Lithuanian. He gets busy in the ring. Bit of inactivity. You can blame Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford for that shit.
Yeah, we know all about them guys holding up the division, but continue.
But the bottom line is Stanionis ain't coming to lay down. If Boots can do Stanionis the way he did Roman Villa, then Boots is on his way. Anyway.
I'm getting this one, another one.
Right, Norman, but I think Stanionis is the number 2 in the welterweight division. Can he knock off Boots? Yeah, of course he can.
29 KOs. Forgot what Stanionis is, but you know, Stanionis comes from the Eastern European style, and it's gonna make it very tough on Jaron Ennis. It's not gonna be a cakewalk, and you know, I'm kind of glad that Stanionis, finally came out and said, "I'm still right here."
Stanionis is the antithesis to him. You're all flash and I'm all fundamentals. You can do all these crazy moves. I'm just going to cut the distance, catch your work, and when I get close to you and that chin isn't tucked, I'm going to, Stanionis exposes Boots Ennis. I think some people are even maybe anticipating that this is the fight where Ennis, despite all his talent, all his flaws, get exposed against a sharp, underrated.
So let me explain to you why I actually think this fight is a lot closer than most people are anticipating, and why I actually think that there could be a real possibility of Stanionis winning this fight.
I was really confident in Jaron Ennis. I honestly thought that he was going to turn over and beat the brakes off Stanionis. But as the fight's getting closer, I'm starting to look at it as more of an even fight. Jaron Ennis is
Yo, you can't make this shit up.
We pulling cards tonight, man. We pulling cards.
This don't even look like it's done. Let me hear this shit.
thoroughly stopped a natural 147 pounder.
Episode guy said,
"Oh my god, Mil, what's going on, Mil?
We pulling cards tonight. This is what I want for people to understand about media, right? A lot of times that you have media that you supported, whether they're analysts or whether they're reporters, right? And they give out good information, or you like their takes, you like their analysis, or whatever, right? You have to understand that media is human beings, and they go with ebbs and flows. They are easily swayed, and they're swayed by a multitude of reasons. But a lot of times it has something to do with access. Okay, whoever gives them access, they will rock with, because access equals money. Now, some of these dudes are just fanboys. They just want to be around fighters. But for the most part, access gives out money. Now, when they have access to a certain fighter, any fighter that rivals that fighter, all of a sudden they're on the attack, right? And then you got some dudes that are just critical because they just can't get access to a dude.
Right. I've seen that on multiple platforms.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so True School, my friend, I brought him to Philly. He wanted to come to Philly. I brought him to Philly. I stamped him. And I ain't even gonna lie. It made me feel some kind of way that how he operates and how he carries. Like, he clearly has something against Boots, right? And maybe it was his relationship with Brian Norman, because he was Team Norman for a minute. That's when it kind of that's when it went overboard. Because at first it was just critique, right? Because a lot of people don't want to believe that he's as good as everybody in Philly says he is. It's like we having these secret meetings where we're like, okay, well, Boots is from Philly, so we're all going to get together and we're all going to say this, and that. This is what we're doing. This is our guy. This is how we're writing for it. And we'll say that he beats the shit out of everybody in sparring. Hey, Mark, you say this story. I'm going to say this story, and you say that story. That's pretty much what they're saying, is that we're all just on the tape. But I digress. Mark, these dudes, you cannot trust their opinion. You cannot trust their opinion. If they say that I glaze Philly fighters, but I don't hate on nobody. I don't tell you a dude isn't that good because I don't like him, or if I'm cool with another fighter, I don't do that. I may pick my guy to win, but I don't hate on nobody.
Yeah, I never seen you go out of your way to do any of that. But it's obvious that True School definitely got something going on. I don't know what it is, because for you to have that one, and I'm glad that Amino Box, shout out to Amino Boxing, he might have just got my. As a matter of fact, Mike. He might have, he just got a sub off of that. That was great. That was great work. I don't know if you want me to continue on with the video.
No, bro. There's no reason. You don't even need. People's cards is pulled, right? Yo, it's been people who are very, very, I don't it's just something with him that people want to be critical. Sean Porter was initially critical, right? And Sean Porter had to get in there. He had to get in there. He had to find out himself. And salute to him for getting in there after being retired.
Yeah.
I mean, Boots had already done 10 4 minutes, right? And Sean hopped in there at the end. And they did 3.
And still got he still got off on a shot. Nigga did 40 minutes of boxing. Oh my God. All right.
Yep. But Mark, I just say this, that there's a clear agenda against Boots, right? And it's for a variety of reasons. I'm noticing dudes that like that really like Dev and pushing Dev. They have to like do things to diminish Boots. And I fucks with that. I don't even understand when Boots and Dev became rivals. Why? Because Turkey offered him a fight. Turkey was trying to salvage a fight date. That's why all of it, bro, listen, you cannot take what they're saying. You cannot take their opinions as gospel.
Hell no.
The shit is layered. They have ulterior motives, friends and no friends, yo. And you could tell these motherfuckers I said it. And if they text me, I'll be like, yo, you be on bullshit. Simple as that.
Good fact.
Bullshit is bullshit.
Yep. That's exactly what I'd be on. But I look, I didn't even know any of that you told me. I just seen the video on my Twitter and I just decided to speak on it. Like you said, Boots has gaping holes, right? So, Mill, you let me know. But when you provide an opinion, don't you support it with examples, facts, whatever the case is? That's just that's how you're supposed to break shit down. If I be like, yo, this person don't have a chin, I can't just say that and then just move on from it.
Bro,
I have to provide you examples as to why I feel that person has that flaw. Boots has gaping holes. Okay. What holes do you see? And those holes need to be fixed before he faces Xander Zayas. Okay. What needs to be fixed?
I think it's stuff that just it gets views. Because the whole thing is Stanionis was a threat.
Yeah.
With his words, the closer the fight got, Stanionis, he felt like it's a 50-50 fight. Then all of a sudden, Stanionis isn't shit.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man. Why? Because he got his ass beat? Or just maybe you're just wrong with your assessment. Or you know what Jaron Ennis is. You just do any and everything to diminish him. Now, somebody asked me about Sean Zattel. I think Sean Zattel is overly critical. I think he's overly critical.
Sean Zattel back in his play. That's the only reason why I seen that video. Because he said he followed up, and I'm gonna tell you what he said right now. He said, hold on. So he quoted it. He quoted the shit, and he was like, "Great take." I'm gonna find that shit. He said, "Great stuff by my boy BT. I'm picking Ennis right now, but I don't count Xander Zayas out." Bro, what do you mean great stuff? What the fuck did he say that made you feel like that this was a great take?
Wait, Mill City. And mind you, like I said, these are my friends.
Okay.
I grind Mill City up all the time. I grind them up all the time. A lot of this shit has to do with access, right? It's either, if I can't get you, right? And if you don't fuck with me, now I'm going to bring on people. Like, basically, you're going to be a point of conversation, whether it's positive, negative. This is how media rules. Whether it's positive or negative, you're going to be a topic of conversation. I'm either going to get you on here and get people talking positively about you, or get people talking negatively about you, or I could get both. Either way, I'm going to make my money regardless. This is how people operate, right? I'm just saying you cannot take what they are saying as face value. You just can't. Because people have ulterior motives. And it's for a variety of reasons.
Develop your own opinion.
Yes.
Do your research. Don't be looking at people as if they take the law, because a lot of them they trying to push certain narratives and there's certain scripts that they trying to follow. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you can't. Yeah. Like Justin said, you can't get too high or too low on the opinions on others' opinions. That's a fact.
No. And you had dudes that are telling Roy Jones he's wrong about his assessment of who reminds him of himself. I want you to think about that. What gall that you have to have,
They
bro?
told Roy that to his face.
No, I'm talking about like
I was
after
about
that.
to say,
After Roy's basically saying, "Do remind he reminds me of him." Well, you know what I'm saying. And then dudes is like, "Oh no, he ain't nothing like Roy." I think Roy would know more than you about who reminds him of himself. I think he would know.
You want to tell Roy about himself and what he could do? Like, yo, bro, that is crazy, bro. Imagine somebody trying to tell you something about yourself,
bro. But
as if you don't live with yourself every day.
Mark, I get into arguments, and I don't want people to think I'm just on there. I get into arguments with my homies in person, on the phone. They know how I feel, right? So ain't none of this shit foreign. I do not like how my folks operate when like talking about fighters, bro.
Right.
I just don't. I don't put a, when I say my folks, right? I don't like how all of media, 95% of media operates in this same space. So if you want to say I'm biased, yeah, I guess I am biased. I am pro fighter, right? There's times where I give dudes chances that I don't think has a chance, but I'll tell you it's going to be a good fight. It's going to be an exciting fight because I might have a relationship. The only two motherfuckers I speak negatively about in boxing, two dudes, Teofimo Lopez and Ryan Garcia. They're racist. Fuck them.
Yep, and one of them a drug cheat.
Fuck them.
That's what it is. No, that's facts. That's the same motherfuckers that we hold accountable over here too. But hold on, I wanted to get. Oh, but then I'm hearing Tim Bradley saying some shit about Philly. You see how they all attack him?
Wait.
They hate that we got the Rock, nigga. They hate the fact that we got good going on right now. They want you to talk about Cali. They want you to talk about Texas. They want you to talk about Florida. They want you to talk about everything except Philly. The moment that you bring up Philly, bro, they get in their fucking feelings, bro. They be feeling some way, bro.
Yo,
it be bigger than Boots sometimes.
I never understood. I don't understand. Like, what did we ever do to these places? It's like I don't
shit.
Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. And no, what he's upset about, and I want you to peep his energy, right? He's saying Philly, right? But no, Bozy came at you. So when you wanted to do your videos about Greg and talking about Greg record and Greg pedigree, no, Bo came at you. Bozy did.
Right.
You gonna have that same energy? I don't think your rhetoric works. I don't think your supreme boxing IQ, I don't think that works in a conversation with Bozy. Bozy been training fighters for over 50 years. You want to say he don't know?
And built champions from the ground up. Fuck is we talking about?
How many war titles Bo won? 3 with Boots. What is it?
Shit, it's about he got 3 with Boots. He got
3 with Boots, 1 with Scoot, 1 with O'Shea. So yeah, this is like 4 within like a year and a half.
Yeah, but the moment that his fighters got us a 50-50 fight, they want to disrespect bro. That shit really fried the fuck out of me, bro. I'm about to play Tim Bradley video because I want to see what he got to say because his title says Philly, listen up. So he's shooting right at us, bro.
Wait. So wait, my man said nah, Tim wasn't hating, y'all. Hey, bro, no disrespect. Tim has been hating on Boots for years. So if you want to tell me that you didn't feel like Tim was hating in his last couple of videos, Tim has been hating on Boots for years. And it's due to his relationship with Terrence. We got to be honest. When dudes have certain picks, they feel like if anybody is rivaling their other guy, if anybody's rivaling their guy, they start to treat that person like a op.
Yep.
Like we see it every day. You either are pro it because you like the fighter, or you're against it because you like the other guy. But you see it every day. Like you want to name channels? Like we can keep it a bean. We know Blue Blood don't like Tank. We know my man BF don't like that. They both my homies. We know we don't like Tank. We know we don't. Like they don't be hot and shit. They feel how they feel.
Oh, that's a fact. But yeah, Tim Bradley, and you know, Tim Bradley starting to change his tune a little bit because he ain't getting paid no more. I mean, that's what he said. I mean, he said, "Oh man, I'm gonna just say whatever I want because they ain't paying me no more." And I'm like, "Oh, that just let me know you just confirmed what everybody was thinking when they were saying that you was only taking these sides because you was getting paid for it."
Real shit. My man KO don't like Dev. Champ side, he don't fuck with Shakur. He be taking shots at Boots. He be taking shots at Tank.
Yeah.
My man Deem, right? He can't stand Dev. He can't stand Bill. Like mind you, and I'm cool with these dudes, but we all we all know channels. They be having dudes they fuck with. They be having dudes they don't fuck with. This is how it goes.
Yeah. So I want to finish off this video from fuck this nigga name, Brandon Taylor, BT, whatever they call him. So I don't know where I was at.
Champion, right?
Yeah.
If you listen to Jaron Ennis when he talks, and I don't think a lot of you guys will listen to him when he talks, I do. Whenever Jaron Ennis has great performances, he always talks about having fun. When he has underwhelming performances, like the one against Karen, both performances against Karen, he says that, well, he didn't perform well because he didn't have fun. And what that tells me about
why would you expect Boots to have fun with a nigga that he didn't even want a rematch? That he already had beat 12-0. You know what I mean? Karen went and he fought I don't know who the fuck he fought, and then he was able to become the mandatory.
He fought like Harry Scarf and a couple other dudes.
Yeah, and he came back and became the number one guy in the IBF, mandated it. If you're Boots and you're trying to, and you know your time limited at 47 from one. You know your time limited at 47, and you're over here trying to get all these belts before you move up, and the IBF hit you with a bullshit mandatory from a motherfucker you just beat the year prior. How could you not understand how the motherfucker wasn't having fun in there? He didn't want to fight him. He wanted to fight the bigger names.
After the IBF called the mandatory in Cody Crowley, but Cody basically career got ended by Abel Ramos. Okay. Two broken orbital bones. Remember that fight was ordered first, then Avanesian had to step in, and then right after that, here they come ordering another mandatory instead of letting Avanesian satisfy the mandatory.
They hit him with back-to-back Johns, basically. Yep. So I feel like this is shit that he should know though, but he's not taking it into consideration because he hell bent on taking this angle with Jaron Ennis. That's how I take it.
And then
which is that
go ahead.
And then in a couple months, it'll be that Boots picked on a young champion, that Xander wasn't ready, and then the narrative will still continue that Boots hasn't fought nobody. But we just seen this a couple of years ago.
They're gonna say that Xander was sacrificed by Top Rank. They're gonna say that Xander was a green champion, that he didn't beat anybody for his titles. Yeah, bro, I can see all of that shit. Oh, y'all, Boots overrated. He never fought nobody that was on his level. He beat a young guy. He beat a green guy. Like,
yeah, and the crazy thing is, we just seen this with Terrence Crawford. And we saw Terrence Crawford fans fight tooth and nail for Crawford's respect, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Crawford did, but I'm saying we saw his fan base argue in comment sections and all that, only for his fans to do the same thing with Boots. It's literally like that. It's literally repeating itself. They said they wanted, why don't Crawford fight Kell Brook? He beat Kell Brook. Why don't he fight American? He beat American. Oh, they were damaged champions. He beat Sean Porter. Sean Porter was on his way out. He beat Earl Spence. Earl Spence was drunk. What they say, he was high. He was smoking weed. He was done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So literally, we see this all the fucking time. Some dudes never get their respect.
Yeah, especially, and I'm gonna keep it real. Like the constant theme with all of this is when they black American fighters, bro. Keep that shit 1,000.
Yo, I completely agree with that, but at the same time, there are some outliers because some dudes just never get the respect of people. People hate on Canelo in that same fashion. There's nothing that Canelo can do to earn some people's respect. Nothing.
So let's go through. Let's hear this shit.
He needs to be in control, and when he's not in control, he gets frustrated, and he doesn't have as many answers as you guys think. And he's very versatile, and I'm gonna say this 2 times so you guys understand me. Jaron Ennis is versatile, but he's not complete. Those are 2 different things. You could be versatile and skill set, but that it doesn't mean you're a complete fighter, because a complete fighter can initiate the exchange, end the exchange, counterpunch, switch, all that stuff.
Nigga, just describe Boots, nigga. You literally just describe Boots. Bro, I said I wasn't gonna disrespect this nigga, bro. I'm not going to.
Yo, bro, he my homie. He my homie, so you ain't gotta do. Yo, you can talk about his tape. You can call him biased, but yeah, he's still my homie. So damn, this is a bad take, BT. Shit,
bro. This nigga just described Boots.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
You describing Boots or you describing Bud? And you're not talking about Bud.
Yeah.
So who the fuck? I gotta replay that, bro. I gotta rewind that.
Initiate the exchange, end the exchange, counterpunch, switch, all that stuff.
Hold on.
He can do most of those things, and the exchange doesn't mean you're a complete fighter. Skill set, but it doesn't mean you're a complete fighter, because a complete fighter can initiate the exchange, end the exchange, counterpunch, switch, all that stuff. He can do most of those things, but he can't do all of them. So he's not a complete fighter.
Okay.
Now, in a way, is a complete fighter.
Do me a favor. Do me a favor. Name one of those things that he can't do. That's the thing. You named a whole bunch of shit. You said he can do some of those things, but not everything. Okay. Well, what's the one thing that he can't do? Right? Is he a great finisher? Yes. Can he fight at distance? Yes. Can he fight mid-range? Yes. Can he fight on the inside? Yes. Can he switch? Yes. So tell me
can he counter?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Tell me a facet that he doesn't have, right? Now, if you want to criticize and say he takes punches that he doesn't necessarily have to take with his skill set, that's legitimate because it's true. If he doesn't want to get hit, you won't hit him. But because he's an aggressive fighter, he ends up taking shots that he doesn't have to take to deliver his punishment. That's a legit criticism. But at the same time, you got to say both sides. He gets those stoppages.
Mm-hmm. I remember they had the same criticisms about Floyd though. When he was pretty boy, and he was letting his hands go, and he was getting hit and shit. And I remember hearing the commentary, Floyd Mayweather get hit a lot. You know what I mean? He leaves himself open for a lot of shots. He's overly aggressive and shit like that. So, yeah, I mean, I think people misconstrue the two. Like they make it seem like because somebody is might get overly aggressive that all of a sudden that they don't have defense, bro. It's a mindset. You know what I mean? Boots has shown to be elusive multiple times throughout his career. We could literally cite different fights right now that could show you a great defensive display from Boots. You know what I'm saying? So we can't sit here and act like he don't got this bag of tricks. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't really understand this dude's take, bro. Like I said, my reflex wanted me to call him out his name, but no, this shit is crazy, bro. It gotta be frustrating. This is extremely frustrating to deal with, bro. Thank God Boots don't pay attention to the internet, bro.
Yo, can you imagine if Boots would have gotten dropped by a dude that does DoorDash? And I'm not disrespecting Ramon Cardenas because most fighters have jobs, but I want you to imagine the narrative. Ramon Cardenas wasn't a champion. Ramon Cardenas is a really solid fighter, right? But he got dropped by him. Can you imagine if Boots would have got dropped by Lima Stanionis? Stanionis, a world champion, Olympian. Can you imagine what that conversation would have been?
Would have been that's all they would have been playing. That should be on rotation on Twitter. That should be.
They talking about 2 wide decision wins, right? You notice when they bring up flaws, they never bring up Xander's flaws
at all. And I was sitting, I'm like, yo, let me watch Xander shit. I'm like, oh, this motherfucker got crazy holes in his defense. Abad Barrow couldn't miss with that motherfucking right hand.
He couldn't. He won a split decision at home. And mind you, right? I'm only doing this analytically.
Right.
Listen, if you just bringing up one set of flaws, then it shows that you clearly have an agenda. And I'm gonna see these dudes tomorrow at this press conference, and we're gonna be chopping it up, and I'm gonna be grinding these motherfuckers up.
Damn, bro. I wish I was off tomorrow. I'd have fucking won. Is it open to the public or is this media?
No, but you are media now, so all you had to do is apply. I feel like you forget though.
I do. Yeah. But do he say anything else in this video, man? Let me see.
Alexander Usyk is a complete fighter. Terrence Crawford was a complete fighter. That's why they were on top of boxing for so long. Dimitri Bivol is a complete fighter. Shakur Stevens is a complete fighter, right? These guys can fight, and they have answers to damn near all the questions.
Dimitri Bivol is not a
Jaron
complete
Ennis
fighter.
He's not.
Dimitri Bivol is not a complete fighter.
Has Dimitri Bivol ever showed you like inside game?
No. Dimitri Bivol is elite at what he does. He's a great fighter. He's a Hall of Fame fighter. But that's like saying fucking Ben Wallace is a complete basketball player. You can be great. That's like saying Shaq is a complete basketball player. You can be great at something, but not be complete. He just, bro, listen. I can't even listen to this shit.
All right, we're gonna chop this shit down.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll hop off, but I can't even listen. I can't listen to nonsense, yo. I can't listen to nonsense, yo.
I love to call niggas out though. But I get it though.
This shit's cooking me, yo.
Nigga said Bivol complete boxer. That's crazy. I ain't never see Bivol do the shit that Boots do. To be honest, great in and out movement, great range control, good combinations, fluid. You know what I mean? Intelligent fighter, but complete? No, not at all. RJ says they definitely be pushing a negative bias opinion towards Boots. Oh yeah, it's clear to see, bro. It's clear to see, man.
Yo, can you imagine if Canelo got dropped by a dude that does DoorDash? What would that conversation be like? Respectfully.
Bro, they be bringing up him getting hurt by Cotto, brother, and he was like 19.
Hey, J-Day, what is Bivol missing? Russian fighters can't fight on the inside.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Yeah, Russian fighters are mid to long range fighters. You look at their styles. Once the fighting gets on the inside, they're ineffective. I don't even think that's something that could be argued. That's just their style.
Yeah, they come from a different school, and over here, like we more well rounded. Outside, inside, gritty. You know what I mean? Every country has like different styles. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, Boxer says we've never seen Boots fight the same level of competition that Bivol is for.
That's not what we talking about, though.
Bro, if you can dribble, you can dribble. Feel me? Bivol fighting better beef, because that's the only dude that you can really say he fought that was just on a completely level than Boots' opposition. In all of Bivol's fights, whether it was developmental or whether it's better beef, he's never shown you the ability to fight on the inside. That's not how he fights. So that like that logic, that doesn't make sense. In the amateurs, he didn't fight on the inside. When he was starting out his career, he didn't fight on the inside. When he was a contender, he didn't fight on the inside. When he was a world champion, he didn't fight on the inside.
Yeah, Sarah said where the press conference being held at. It's going to be held in New York. It's going to be held at the Barclays, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It wouldn't make any sense for it to be in Philly, yes, sir. Canelo and Zordo, not legit. No, we not. That's what Boxer said, Mel.
What does that mean? When did Bivol fight Zerto?
Got him.
That was what, 20? 20. Wow. Yeah.
He fought him in 2022.
Okay. Did he fight any of those guys on the inside?
No. No, he boxed the shit out of Gilberto. He definitely ain't fighting him.
Boxed the shit out. Did he fight Canelo on the inside?
No. He kept Canelo at the end of his punches. He all worked him. None of us have discredited Dimitri Bivol's resume, by the way. That wasn't even what we was talking about. You know what I mean? But shout out to Forever Runway Fashion Line 448 with the $2 super chat. He said, "What's the undercard of the Boot Zayas fight?" I didn't hear any of that get announced yet, but I'm sure that might get announced at the press conference. I'm not sure. RJ say, "Hey Mill, I'm glad you know No City be hating on Boots because Zab called him out on it the other day when they was talking about Boots first with Xander. Fight with Xander, I'm assuming he meant to say. Ooh-wee.
Yeah, I forgot about the Zerto fight. With the Canelo fight, I ain't even gonna lie, bro. Canelo is just too small for that weight.
Way too small, bro. Canelo was hitting that motherfucker with everything he had. And
yeah, he was just too small for that weight.
Yeah.
And so, of course, I give the respect for him, but that John was like,
He said Mill loves Xander. Them Puerto Ricans, they love Xander, bro. Them motherfuckers coming to me. I got people coming up to me in my gym like, you picking Boots? Of course I'm picking Boots. I'm like, oh,
are
man.
They fighters?
With Xander.
Are they fighters?
Yeah, like they little young bulls and shit, though.
All right, yo, do me a favor. I want to interview them.
I could set, yeah, we could set up Joshua. Yeah, Joshua, he from the island though, so he, yeah. But he probably the only one. Then I got like parents and shit. Xander, you going against Xander? You Puerto Rican, man.
Y'all proud people.
Man, listen.
You know what's funny though? He said you going against Xander, but if you asked them who was going to win, Edgar or Canelo, would they tell you?
Yo. Yeah, but Puerto Rico don't like Edgar, bro. They really don't. Boots got the I don't know if you, because I doubt you be listening to like Spanish podcasts and shit, bro. But the island shook, bro. Boots got them niggas scared. Like I was hearing the one dude, he was like, "Yo, like Xander not ready, man. If Xander wins, I'm gonna retire. I'll walk away from this podcast. Like, don't nobody believe this nigga gonna be Boots, bro." They shook.
I think that there's a fear that Boots could ruin Xander. I mean, Xander is likable. I don't think anybody in Philly dislikes Xander, even when we talk about him. Yeah. It's not like Virgil or other people.
He gave me a tough time though. He was rude to me, but
who?
Xander.
Really?
Yeah, bro. He was really rude to me, man.
Damn.
We didn't have a good interaction at all. I don't know why. I didn't do shit to him. It was really his people's, but
wait, what happened?
So, bro, I reached out to a few people that's real good. They had good relationship with like Top Rank and shit like that, and all that good stuff. I was trying to get a Xander interview, right? They're like, "Yo, you gotta reach out to Gardy Lopez. Yo, you gotta reach out to Gardy Lopez."
Okay.
All right, cool. So I reached out to Gardy Lopez and respond to none of my emails, none of my texts, none of that. So I'm like, bro, like I gotta, like, if Gardy's not, if I gotta talk to Gardy, he not talking to me, then like in my head, I'm like, all right, well, the fuck, like you sending me to a middleman. The middleman ain't getting the job done. So I want to reach out directly to this dude. So did some research or whatever. Boom, knew somebody that knew him. Gave me his line. Reached out to him. I'm hearing he like, oh, who this? I introduced myself and all that. He was like, he said, no, I don't appreciate you texting my phone. This for family and friends only. I'm like, well, your peoples sent me this shit. Oh, well, let me know who he is so we can have a conversation about this. I really don't appreciate that. Like, my nigga. I'm like, bro, like, you gotta tell you, but then he wanted me to tell who it was. No, I'm not telling you who it was, brother. I'm not gonna tell you who it was. You know what I'm saying? But he going off and shit. He like, no disrespect to you, but you know, if anybody wants to do an interview with me, then you know they gotta talk directly to they gotta talk directly to Gardy Lopez. Like, I'm not the one to talk to. Like, basically like saying all that bullshit. But like, he's so mad, Mill, that when you send a text, you ain't got an iPhone, right? But like on iPhone, when you send a text, like some texts have read receipts, right? So as soon as you send it, it'll say read at 5:30 p.m. or whatever the case is. Bro, I literally would go 10 minutes without texting the nigga. I'd text him and it'll be read immediately. So he was so mad that the nigga was staying on the thread. Just waiting for my response, bro. That nigga was sick. Like, he was so mad that I texted him. And bro, I ain't disrespect him. I ain't calling him out his name. None of that shit. Now, mind you, I talked to some people and they was like, yo, man, like, you know what I mean? He probably just don't want, you know what I mean? He probably a private person. He probably don't want no strangers hitting him up. I'm like, all right, well, that's, you know what I mean? Like, he should have made that clear with his people. Like, his people shouldn't have just gave that shit up like that. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So, like, you know what I mean? I guess what really got him mad is that I ain't tell him who gave me the number. But if I go ahead and tell them that he start coming at him, now the homie gonna feel away. You know what I mean? He probably would be like, why the fuck would you? You know what I mean? So I don't know. I feel like I ain't say nothing. But I stopped writing him after that. But he was like, yeah, man, you got to reach out to Gardy Lopez, blah, blah. Like, don't talk to me. Talk to Gardy. Bro, I try to talk to Gardy. The nigga don't answer. What the fuck am I supposed to do? Just not get the interview while everybody else do? And mind you, I done got Tito Mercado personal line. We did multiple interviews. Fucking Bomac. I got Bomac personal line. He gave it to me.
But
we haven't spoken in a while, but we did an interview.
Did you tell Youngin that you inboxing him?
Yeah, I told him that. I said, yo, bro, I'm a former fighter, boom, boom, coach, manager, own the gym, blah, blah. He ain't give a fuck about none of that, Mel. He ain't give a fuck about none of that. He was just like, bro, like, who gave you my number? Like, that nigga was so mad. Like, he wasn't disrespecting me or nothing like that. He was even saying, like, no disrespect, brother, but I don't really appreciate you texting me. And I'm like, my nigga, like, you for real?
Yo, and the crazy thing is, I understand. I just don't. He just didn't go about it the right way. But I understand. I understand how, if I got a line specifically for this, damn, young boy.
He draw though, like he draw. Like,
yeah,
like he could have been like if it was, I can't tell nobody how to react. You feel what I'm saying? But like me personally, if I was in them shoes, I'm like, damn, like you got my number, show you. I probably wouldn't have minded. You know what I'm saying? Because I done had people randomly reach out to me, and we done got some shit squared away or whatever. But I'd be like, bro, did you try to reach out to this person? Oh, this person ain't reached back to you. All right, let me talk to him and see. I'm gonna have him reach out to you. That's what I would have did. Oh, Gardy's not responding to your text. All right, I'm gonna let Gardy know. I'm gonna have y'all communicate so we could possibly set up an interview or whatever. Boom. Or if Xander just don't want to do the interview, he could have just said that. Because I don't have a problem with nobody telling me no. If you don't want to do the interview, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But like, yeah, he carried that shit hella weird, bro. Like, but I'm not gonna talk crazy about him. I would have picked Boots with or without that interaction. But like, you know, it was just, yeah, we ain't have a great interaction at all. Like that shit was bad. But when I see him, if I ever get the opportunity, I'll talk to him about it. I was like, yo, bro, I was doing that. Boom, boom. Yeah, I mean, I doubt he'll come off crazy or anything like that, but yeah, that wasn't we didn't have a good interaction at all. That's the only bad interaction I've had in boxing, by the way.
Damn, really?
Yes. Like I've never had a bad interaction with nobody that I've done interviews with, that I spoke with behind the scenes, through text, through DM, through phone call. Everything been smooth. You just gotta know how to, present yourself to people. You gotta know how to talk to people. You gotta be respectful. You know what I'm saying? You come off with respect, it's a strong likelihood they're gonna give you respect too. You know what I'm saying? Especially if they know that you from the sport. It's like a brotherhood with this shit. So it's like, just keep it cool. But he was the only one.
Yo, and
really ain't fuck with me. And that shit was
I feel like one day we can talk about like your other negative experiences in boxing,
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully one day we can have that kind of live where we could talk about you freezing. I ain't gonna say what the situation was.
You a cold motherfucker, man.
I ain't gonna say what the situation was.
Oh, you a cold motherfucker. Yo, but my day ones know about that situation.
Yeah.
My day ones know about that situation. But you a cold motherfucker. Bring that up, though. That's crazy. Nah. Yeah, bro. Folded like Kalani out this motherfucker. You heard? Yeah,
yo, that's hilarious. Yo.
She don't like me no more. That shit done. That shit cooked.
Yeah?
Yeah, she don't fuck with me no more. When I came at her about that PED shit, so that shit
Oh yeah?
Oh,
Which y'all seen each other or she
No, I never ran into her. That was bro, believe it or not, I've I met her. Obviously, we took a picture and shit. We had our little interaction and all that. But that was the last time I saw her. I ain't see her in years, bro. She don't be coming to Philly all like that. And I don't really be outside all like that. So I don't back when she was with Marshall Kaufman, she used to be around. But nah, she ain't got no business being over here no more. But yeah, man. Yeah, she don't fuck with me no more. I had put a tweet out. She saw the tweet or whatever. She started talking about how she got good lawyers and shit. And I'm like, all right, you gonna sue me for public information? Like, that's cool. Like, whatever.
That was cold-blooded. Won't see me tonight.
That was a bad. And she ain't the only one. But we ain't gonna speak about it now. These female boxers them female boxers that's at MVP right now, a couple of them. Yeah. They on that. They know they know Mark.
Yo, boxing is a small circle. Motherfuckers don't know.
Bro. I be surprised. I'm like, yo, she ranked where? She doing what? She about to fight for a world title. She world champion. She undisputed. I remember. Shit crazy, bro.
Hey, Mark. Streets need a body, Mark.
What that mean?
That mean anybody can be a victim. You know what I'm saying? This is life, Mark. Mark, anybody can be a victim inside or outside the ring. That's how the games go, yo.
Ooh-wee. Hey, man. Them days is over, man. I'm retired. But yeah, they know Mark. They know Mark.
Yo, the head tilt when you say it though.
they remember Mark. Silly, they know him. And what's crazy is don't nobody really know me like that. But they do.
Yo.
Oh man. Super bad, John. Yeah.
Hey, yo, I'm about to go to sleep.
All right, man.
I got that long drive, but yo, you gotta play They Know in the background.
What?
You gotta play They Know in the background.
They know.
Shorty Low John. Da-da-da. You gotta play that in the background. They know.
Yo, that shit played in my head as soon as you said that.
Yo, J-Day call you Sweet Dick Willie. Yo,
Hey,
man.
yo, you gotta get time out for that. Let's time. Yo, somebody time Justin out for a minute, bro. You gotta come
Yeah.
back in person.
All right, yo. All right, yo. Be safe.
Holla at you. I appreciate you, man.
All right, my nigga.
But anyways, man, shout out to the nation. Shout out to the mob. Do y'all want me to proceed with this video? Let me know. Do y'all want me to proceed with this video? Now, you said Sweet D Willie? Money Keys put the pause. Oh, yeah, Justin, you got ain't nobody want to do it, so I had to do it. Justin, you gotta sit down for a little bit. You gotta come back a better person. You know what I mean? Hopefully. Yo, Slime, stop doing that, bro. You gotta stop doing that, bro. You gotta stop doing that's like, I'm like, all jokes aside, that's like really annoying, bro. You gotta stop. Like, it's not that serious, bro. I promise I'm gonna give you the link. Just let me do what I gotta do. But yeah, let's proceed with this video because I only stopped out of respect for Mill. He was getting fed up. He was getting impatient. And I get it. Like, Mill really involved in the media. I'll do my one video a day and I just go off into my regular life. Mill, this is like his career. You feel what I'm saying? So he hear this shit a lot more than I do. Yeah. So let's proceed with this.
Enough to know that he does not have the answers to all the questions. And the reason why this fight was taken by Xander.
How can you say, bro, here's another contradiction. You saying that Boots never been, he's always had it his way, you know what I mean? He's always in control, but you know that he doesn't have all the answers. How the fuck you know he don't got all the answers when all he's shown you thus far is that he has the answers? Now, if Boots has some trouble or he has some controversial fights like Teofimo Lopez did with Jermaine Ortiz, Sandor Martin, yeah, he don't got all the answers. When you look at Teofimo, oh yeah, he don't got all the answers, especially with that Shakur fight. He don't have all the answers. But if Boots has had a relatively easy time with each opponent that he's had, that lets me know that, yo, so far, the motherfucker got the answers. So there's a lot of contradictions with this dude, man. He clearly, and this is hard for me to respect. You know what I mean? Shout out to Mill because he always find a way to be friends with niggas that, like, in my eyes, I couldn't be friends with because they just not keeping it real. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm the type friend that when you say some nut shit or whatever, or I know you did wrong for that approach, I'm gonna tell you. And I'm not gonna necessarily press you, but I'm gonna tell you why you wrong. You feel what I'm saying? But I'm sure Mill do the same thing. You know what I mean? I'm sure he do the same thing, but it be rubbing me the wrong way to the point where it's like, bro, I can't even fuck with these type niggas. Like, they weird, bro. You feel me?
It's not because his contract is up. Everybody keeps saying, oh, how could Xander fight Boots? You know, his contract with Top Rank must be up. Nah, it ain't because his contract is up. It's because he's been built the right way. He fought the right fights at the right time. He got the right experience at the right time. So even though Xander Zayas might be 22, 23 years old, his experience level and his maturity, it supersedes. It's above 22 or 23 years old.
He was built up the right way. Brandon Taylor, name me credible opponents that Xander Zayas has faced that lets you know that he's ready for a fight with Jaron Ennis. Who did Xander Zayas beat to let you know that he's ready for Jaron Ennis? Because you said he was built the right way. His maturity is above a 22 to 23-year-old. And the reason why he's fighting Boots isn't because he's at the end of his contract. You letting it be, you're making it clear that in your head, you know what I'm saying? You making it clear that you saying out loud that you feel like Xander Zayas fought quality opposition, like he's, you know what I mean? He's been moved in a way where like he's ready surely ready for somebody like Jaron Ennis. Name me some guys. that you fought with Patrick Teixeira, an old washed up former world champion, Slava Spalmer, what was he? I think he was undefeated, unnotable guy. Who we talking about? We talking about Jorge Garcia Perez. We talking about him. What did he do? He beat Charles Conwell. Okay, was he a world champion? Who was he really? And how does Jorge Garcia Perez get you ready for somebody like Jaron Ennis, who's a lot faster, a lot more athletic, a lot sharper, better ring IQ? How about a Baz Barau? Baz Barau, great pressure fighter, good power, relentlessness, conditioning, cool. How does that compare with a Jaron Ennis? It's a totally different approach. It's a totally different fight. It's a totally different style matchup. So Slime, what up?
Yo, what's the word?
God, chill, bro.
Nah, that's my fault. I didn't know you could. You saw me asking for the link. I didn't know,
bro. But I read every comment, so I know, bro.
My fault.
You gotta let me get to that point. I'm gonna always bring you on. You gotta let me work though.
Nah, that's my fault. That's my fault.
I got you, brother. So what's on your mind, man? Talk to me.
Nah, like this dude do be contradicting himself a lot. Like I was gonna say, like that take he said about the complete fighter shit, and then he said, "Oh, a complete fighter's when this." I'm like that's booth, but that's why I asked for the link because I was about to speak on that topic. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Like, bro, that makes no sense. You just talking about a complete fighter, but then you describing boots at the like what?
This wasn't a well thought out video at all. Like he didn't do no preparation for this video. This nigga was he clearly got a biased approach. He clearly has an agenda to shit on Boots, but like he didn't formulate it in a way where he was maintaining some level of objectivity. He didn't have no strong arguments behind his points whatsoever. The nigga said in the beginning of the video that Boots has a lot of gaping holes. I saw you say pause about that, so that was funny. But that's his word. He said he has a lot of gaping holes, but he did not tell you what gaping holes that he has. Then he went on to say that Boots is a well-rounded fighter, but not a complete fighter, but didn't tell us how he was a complete fighter. Then he went on to name fighters that he felt like were complete, but in reality weren't complete fighters. Like Dimitri Bivol. Dimitri Bivol, phenomenal talent. Pound for pound, one of the best fighters in the world. He's not a complete fighter. He's just really, really good at what he does. And for anybody that feels like he is a complete fighter, show me a fight where he showed you masterful inside work. Because that is a part of fighting. Part of being a complete fighter is knowing how to fight at long range, mid range, and even on the inside.
Going backwards, forwards, side to side, all that.
Of course.
On the ropes, in the corner, in the center of the ring.
Dimitri Bivol, he checks a lot of those boxes. But that right there is very obvious. It's an obvious, I'm not going to say it's a weakness. I mean, it can be, but it's obvious that he doesn't have that in his repertoire. You know what I'm saying? So that's my whole thing with that. He also went on to say, let's keep this shit playing because this dude, then you said that this fucking dude just got exposed. Shout out to Amino Boxing. I love when motherfuckers pull receipts on him.
I was gonna say this on top of what I said earlier. I feel like people just say negative shit about Boots because it's gonna get them clicks. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what's popping. Hating on fighters nowadays is popping.
Yeah, but people don't even know that if you keep it real, you keep it objective, you're gonna gain a great audience too. People just gravitate towards hate because that's how they wired. You know what I mean? They make it, you know what I mean? Like they associate negativity with controversy, and they associate controversy with views. But bro, you could keep it real, you could keep it right, call it how you see it, maintain objectivity, and still get a following too. You know what I'm saying? Because when you on negative shit, on hater shit, you're gonna attract that type of energy from subscribers. You're gonna get a lot of hating ass subscribers. And the moment that you switch up, they gonna switch up on you.
And then on top of that, it's like that just brings in a lot of the people who gravitate towards the negativity is a lot of casual fans, because you don't really see no real hardcore fan just saying shit without backing some type of evidence with it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. They know both sides of the coin, so they're not just gonna sit here and just hate. You feel what I'm saying?
Right. If they're gonna hate, they're gonna hate with evidence.
Right. So let's see what else this nigga gotta say, bro. He said that he went as far as to call Stanionis a motherfucking Neanderthal. You know what I'm saying? It was saying that he's not he's not an intelligent boxer. But nigga, you said that in your previous videos in the lead up to the fight that you felt like this was gonna be a close fight, and you had all this respect for Stanionis' name, but since Boots washed him and made Stanionis quit essentially in his corner, all of a sudden Stanionis ain't nobody. Like, I can't stand these type niggas that be flip-flopping like that. Like, there's been times where I was like, yo, I feel like Errol Spence gonna beat Bud, right? That didn't happen. Feel me? It is what it is. Bud beat him, right? But I'm not gonna be the type nigga to be like, after Bud beat him, man, yo, Earl wasn't shit anyway, man. Like, y'all thought Earl was good. Nigga, you was just bigging Earl up the other day. Nah, but like, really think about it though. Like, you really think Errol Spence was good? You really think that he beat people? Like, you think? I can't stand niggas like that, bro. Where they prideful to admit that they wrong, and they just go ahead and they just digging themselves deeper into bullshit, and you really lose credibility like that.
Right. No one's gonna take your word for shit at that point.
Because if they see that you inconsistent with your points and you not standing for nothing, niggas gonna look at you like you a hoe, and they not
gonna be chatting.
Yeah, exactly. So and then Sean Sattel, long head ass over. You know, let me not say that. Let me chill out, bro. Over here, great take from good stuff from BT. What did he say that you considered to be good stuff? What are you talking about? Anyways, let's proceed because this video almost over.
And like I said, Boots is used to being comfortable in there. You know, as far as venue where he fights, as far as opponent styles. Only time he was semi uncomfortable was against Karen, right? And the only reason Karen.
You talking about the two fights where he won clearly in both, you dumbass nigga?
Every round.
You talking about the first fight was 12-0, 120, 108, and you talking about the second fight where he won by a wide margin, he even got a knockdown. That's the fights that you talking about Boots was uncomfortable in? That's the fights you referring to?
You know what's crazy? They're saying it was uncomfortable because he didn't get the knockout.
Yourself. All you doing is contradicting yourself. Oh, Boots is always comfortable. If Boots is always comfortable, isn't that a testament to how good he is?
Right.
If he's always comfortable, when you went out your way to say that Stanionis was a formidable opponent, he was comfortable in that fight. Doesn't that go to show how good Jaron Ennis is? Why can't you just admit that?
Yo, and not only did he win every round, right? Like, damn, I forgot exactly what the fuck I was gonna say. He won every.
No, but check this out. Boots ain't a complete fighter, right? And one of the things that we said was part of being a complete fighter is being able to adapt, right?
Yep.
This motherfucker Karen, he adapted. The first fight, he was moving, he was boxing. The second fight, he stepped to Boots. What did Boots do both times? Win.
Yep.
How did he win? By knowing how to handle the style that was in front of him. How do you handle the style that's in front of him? By adjusting accordingly to who it is that's in front of you.
Oh, this was what I was gonna say. They only saying he was uncomfortable because he didn't get the knockout. That's the only reason they're saying that.
The only reason. The only fucking reason, bro.
Like, bro, he won every round. What more do you want?
Who has not Karen out? I would love for somebody to tell me, because Karen only lost to Boots and somebody else early on in his career. I challenge you to find anybody that has not Karen Chukazan out. Nobody. You're not, and the reality of this boxing shit is you're not knocking everybody out.
Right.
Find the hardest punches of all time, and I'm gonna find you somebody that they didn't knock out. Ernie Shavers, motherfucking George Foreman, motherfucking Deontay Wilder, whoever, Henry
Mike
Armstrong,
Tyson,
Ray Robinson, Mike Tyson, one of the best knockout artists of all time, David Tua. Don't matter. You know what I'm saying? My boy ETC said, you know the video bad when you gotta stop every 10 seconds. You can't watch this shit for real either. I respect you for trying, though. It's a lot of bullshit, though. Clip, you know what it is, bro. I'm doing it for the people. I'm just exposing. Like, you know how Miller said we pulling niggas cards? I do that, but to the maximum extent. Like, I break down everything you say, and I use it against you. So you got to make sure that you're on point when you're making these videos, because if you ain't, It's gonna be hard to get past this shit. That's just how I am. You know what I mean, my mom said I could have been a fucking lawyer for real.
This nigga contradicted himself from beginning to end, though.
Yo, and this video 3 minutes long. This video only the video a little less than 4 minutes long. It's 3 minutes.
He went on.
He said bullshit for 240 seconds straight. Out of Pal said, "What channels you fuck with, Mark?" Bro, I told for anybody that really watched my shit, like I said, the inspiration behind Mazuma TV was 78 Sports TV. That's my guy. That's my OG. Like, I fuck with him. That's my guy. Without 78 Sports TV, there would be no Mazuma TV today. That's a fact. When I was 18, 19 years old, when I made my first video on this channel, he was the inspiration behind me picking up my phone to record a video for me to talk about boxing. So 78 Sports TV. And I don't watch him all the time. But I always watch his interviews. You know what I mean? Whenever he has certain takes about fighters, I listen to it. But outside of that, like 78, of course, YSM Sports Media. Whenever he does interviews, I tune in. I watch like the little media outlets like Fight Hype, Fight Hub, you know what I mean? But not particularly for their opinions or their boxing talk, but for the content that they provide, like interviewing fighters. Who else? I'll watch Greg Hackett. You know, I'll watch him. But I don't really I just be focused on myself, yo. Like, I don't really be sitting here waiting for niggas' videos to drop. Like, if they pop up on my algorithm, I'll watch it. You know what I mean? And you know, if somebody requests or somebody sends me a link, I'll watch it. But like, I don't really be sitting here just like hoping that somebody drop a video. Like, I don't really be on YouTube unless it's me, you know, uploading shit, or me, you know, looking over a video to see if I said something right, or, you know, looking back on a previous interview I did. Like, I don't really be worried about nobody but me. You know what I'm saying? And that's, I don't know, like, I worry about me. You feel me? Because my
when it comes to boxing content, I only watch you and YSM for real. That's it. That's really it.
But like, my whole goal is to be the best at this shit. Like, and we gonna get there. Like, I already know we gonna get there. It's just a matter of time before I get that, you know, opportunity to showcase that. But, you know, like, that's, you know, I hope that answers your question, Al. But I really want to get into this Tim Bradley video. So I'm gonna let this video play. Clip, I promise you, I'm gonna let this video play, bro.
Couldn't really beat Boots because Karen don't throw enough volume and don't have enough firepower. But see, now you're fighting a guy who is younger than Karen, more athletic than Karen, better than Karen, has a higher pedigree than Karen, and he's about the same size as you. So can Jaron Ennis beat someone who's younger than him, and just like, you know, around the same size as him? That's the question here, because it's easy to put Sergey Lipinets on a highlight reel when Sergey Lipinets is like a 140 pounder and you look like you should be at about 168, because you got Boots is huge. If none of y'all have ever seen Jaron Ennis in person, he's big. He carries the weight very, very well. I don't know how he made 147, but all I'm saying is that
I lied. Boots not that big. This nigga's not no super middleweight. But I heard you a little ass nigga though. I heard you like 5'2", 5'3", or some shit like that.
No way.
That's what I heard. I heard he a little nigga. So probably, you know, compared to you, he may look like a super middleweight, but nah, nigga. No, not at all. That's just, you're just a smaller guy. But Boots ain't that much bigger than me. So Boots a super middleweight, what the fuck would that make me? Don't even make
Heavyweight.
sense.
this is my warning, all right, to the Jaron Ennis fan base and just anybody out there that thinks that Xander Zayas is just some cakewalk and some pushover. Jaron Ennis better work on cutting off the ring. He better stop loading up so damn much on his shots, because he will get tired. He'll start missing. He'll get tired, and he better work consistently behind his jab. If he fights Xander the way he's been fighting Lima and Stanionis and Karen, just marching forward, you know, loading up on everything, he gonna tire himself out, and he's going to fade in the back half of the fight, and he will lose on points. I'm saying that right now. So,
yo, real quick,
I already know you was a different nigga, because first of all, you over here drinking that dirty ass smart water that's known for being acidic. So your pH balanced off, my brother. That's probably why you can't grow facial hair and your you know what I mean, and your shape up and you ain't got no line up. You looking real dirty out here in these streets. I ain't gonna lie, but you know, all in all, I forgot, bro. For real, that shit just went in one ear, out the other. You talking about what the fuck did he say, Slime?
I forgot to.
See, like this shit holds. That shit is ass. Nigga.
That ass forgot.
Like,
That's crazy.
I don't know what the fuck he said. He said something about
He said he better work on cutting off the ring. That he'll get tired if he loads
said,
up on his shot.
yeah,
Some
yeah.
shit.
He's gonna get tired. When have you ever seen Boots tired?
Never.
So what makes you think that? Stop loading up all your shots like you did with Stanionis, Karen, and what was the other one? Malima. He stopped 2 out of the 3 of those guys. So obviously what the fuck he did worked. And then the other one he beat by a wide margin. So what are we talking about? So then you said Xander's, like there's high pedigree and shit like that. And, all of this shit, bro, it sound good, bro. Like I'm really looking forward to looking back on this video when Boots beats the shit out of Xander. Because I want to see what this nigga got to say. Because I already know.
I was just about to say that too. That's what I was gonna say. He's gonna call Xander all types of bum and all types of ass.
He ain't gonna do that because he from Florida just like Xander, so he ain't gonna do that. But what he gonna do is he gonna make excuses for Xander. He ain't gonna call him ass. He gonna approach it like, yo, well, Xander wasn't ready. Like he wasn't ready. That's what it's gonna be, bro. I promise you. Like everybody, it's gonna be a huge niggas gonna be playing the world's smallest violin like this. You know what I mean? They're gonna be feeling so bad for Xander. You know what I mean? That's what they're gonna do. And then Xander's
They only do this to black fighters, by the way.
Yeah, Jamil said that they do that for Canelo. Like, bro, I see niggas enable Canelo time and time and time again. And I don't be seeing that much with black fighters, bro. So, you know what I mean? Like, they do be holding Canelo feet to the fire sometimes, but a lot of the other times they be enabling him to do duck shit.
Yeah, it be selective, though.
Let me see. He said Boots and Xander are the same size, but said Boots belongs at 68. That's a good one, Ralph. I didn't even catch that one. You see how easy this is? That was so easy. Like, yo, Ralph even pointing that shit out. Like, that's contradiction on top of contradiction. You know what I'm saying? Boots and Xander, he's the same size. Okay, so by your logic, then Zayas is a super middleweight too.
So it's 2 super middleweights fighting at 54. Wow.
Right. So it sounds about fucking even to me. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, bro. I don't be knowing what this dude be talking about. But I really want to get into this Tim Bradley video, man. I really do. Because Tim Bradley, very similar to this dude BT or whatever the fuck his name is. He be saying a lot of controversial shit and be talking out his ass too. So let's hear what Tim Bradley got to say. And I love how Tim Bradley got like this arrogance about him, right? That since he was a world champion and he did so much great shit for the sport and he only lost to Pacquiao, that he feel like his opinion is like superior to everybody else's. Yo, Tim, let me tell you something, nigga. You, even though you come from this boxing background and all that shit, just because you did what you did don't mean that motherfuckers ain't earned their stripes in this boxing shit neither. That's one. 2, nigga, you clearly showed that even though you come from this experience background and you did a lot of great shit, that nigga, you could be bought. You're a fucking sellout. So regardless of what you did in the sport of boxing, you've tap danced multiple times. You've cooned out multiple times. And you even admitted it, like you said in the previous video not too long ago, man. You know what I mean? Like they ain't paying me no more. So I'm gonna say whatever I want.
Yo, real quick.
So I'm gonna say whatever I want. So that goes to show that even that you're willing to, push bullshit narratives that you personally don't believe in, just so you could get a check. You the worst type of sellout. Go ahead, Slum.
I hope he doesn't say anything in this video to discredit Boots at all, because he was just hyping up Boots crazy the last time we seen a Tim Bradley video.
All right, but Tim Bradley a wish-washy dude. He flip-flop all the time. Like Tim Bradley, the type nigga, and y'all seen this before. I've seen people even post this shit on Twitter. Let's say in the lead up to the Raymond Ford O'Shaquie Foster fight, he gonna come up with 4 different predictions for the fight. O'Shaquie might knock Raymond Ford out. Raymond Ford might knock O'Shaquie out. Man, O'Shaquie's gonna outclass Ford. Ford's gonna outclass Oshaki, and then whatever happens, he'll be like, "See, I told y'all. See, I told y'all."
Oh, okay, I see.
He be doing that shit, bro.
I see, I get it.
Shout out to the boy PYP Boxing. He said, BT, I sat next to him in Sean Sattel at the Pitbull fight. He will fight you tooth and nail on this boots issue, believe me. And he gonna go out like Stanionis did if he from a verbal standpoint.
He gonna go out like Jermaine.
Yeah, you gonna go out bad. You try to talk. If that nigga BT sat next to me and we went back and forth on the topic, especially with it going around boots and all that, he would lose. I would make him look really bad. And that's on my son life. I would fry that nigga in a debate. If anybody wants to set that up, we could get that shit popping. We could arrange topics to go over, and I will fry him on each and every standpoint. And you could bring Sean too. Sean ain't fucking with me. Bring them whatever topics you want to bring out, because Sean Sattel be back in BT play. So that means he agree with that nigga. And you could word shit however you want to. You could throw in all these fancy analogies and all that shit, bro. I don't gotta do none of that. We get right to the shit, and we could really break down this boxing shit. And I promise you, I'll make them niggas look bad.
Facts.
He said, I'm 5'6", Lil Vato BT about my height, maybe a tad tall. Hey, y'all niggas little, bro. That's crazy. But anyways, let's hear what Tim Bradley, coon ass guy, say.
The game was fire. All right. Oh, Tim Desert Storm Bradley, you already know the damn rest. You see, my message get misconstrued because, my wife always tells me, it's the way you say it. It's the way you say it. Well, I'm going to give it to you direct. All right. Straight up. All right. My boxing style, okay, consisted of speed, hand speed, foot speed, stamina. I had a really good damn boxing IQ, okay? I was a great counterpuncher, too. My slip counter game was fire, all right? I had athleticism, right? Not as much as Boots Ennis. However, I broke a lot of rules, okay? Leaned over my front knee. There was a lot of things that I didn't know. I had, was trained by different trainers. My father trained me as well. And, Joel Diaz and OJ and various trainers, right? And, I was technically somewhat sound, but again, I was missing some of the basic fundamentals, all right? That's just what it was. So, level changes and shit, I didn't know I had to drop. Like, there were certain little things that I didn't know, right? Okay? My pops didn't know. Joel didn't know. And so on and so forth. They just didn't know. Okay? They never taught it. All right? I get with Teddy Atlas. And Teddy Atlas, a renowned trainer, he taught me a lot of, the basic fundamentals. And I got better. Okay, I got a little bit better. I'm not gonna lie. Hell yeah, I was aware of a lot more just with the two camps that I was with Teddy Atlas. Okay, and I imagine myself if I had been with Teddy Atlas a lot sooner. Damn, no telling how far I would have went. Right?
I ain't gonna lie, that's real disrespectful to the Joel Diaz who trained you for multiple world titles, bro. That's disrespectful as shit. Nigga, you went 1-1 with Teddy Atlas. What the fuck you talking about? The two fights that you had with Teddy Atlas, you were 1-1. Think you beat Brandon Rios, then you lost to Manny Pacquiao, and you retired shortly after the fact. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. So you saying that you learned, oh man, who knows how far I would have went if I would have just stuck with Tim Bradley. With Teddy Atlas. Nigga, you were 1-1 with Tim with Teddy Atlas. What are you talking about? Your greatest moments was with Joel Diaz. I believe you won your 5 world titles. Or at least one of your world. No, wait. I think you won the WBO title with Brandon Rios. Man, listen, bro. Ain't nobody trying to hear that shit. Your greatest moments was with Joel Diaz. You became who you became under Joel Diaz tutelage. If you want to add your father, cool. But nigga, you ain't nigga, the 2 fights that you learned with Teddy Atlas, you lost in one of them. Just like a lot of Teddy Atlas fighters. When it comes to their biggest moments, they come up short.
Facts.
Only go to Rosedick. Look what he did in Philly. You trained him. That nigga laid an egg. Better beat the fuck out of me. Beat him to submission in Philly. Bring up Michael Moore. Michael Moore, nigga got knocked out by old ass George Foreman. Nigga tapped him with a 1-2. Nigga went out. Yeah, but you was talking so well on the white man name, and you not bigging up the motherfucker who helped you get to where you are and become that International Boxing Hall of Famer. He talks so fucking big on Teddy Atlas' name, but I rarely ever hear him talk well about Joel Diaz's name. He a hoe, bro. Tim Bradley a hoe.
No knock on Joel Diaz. You know, he was great. You know, he was good. You know, my pops, you know what I mean? My pops know what he know, and, you know, he self-taught, you know? But I'm telling you that as my career got deeper and deeper, all right, guys are starting to exploit my bad habits, okay? I started to get hit more and more and more, all right? So what I'm trying to tell you guys,
that nigga Manny Pacquiao had you doing cartwheels in the ring, nigga. I'm lying. Do you remember when that nigga did a whole fucking backflip in the ring? This nigga fell, nigga rolled over. Nigga did a whole, nigga was doing what's that?
Somersaults.
Yeah, nigga was doing somersaults in the motherfucking ring, looking like Gabby Douglas, nigga. This nigga had you looking like Gabby. That nigga had you looking like a whole Olympian in that motherfucker, boy. What are you talking about? When I was with, basically what he's saying is when he was under his pop and Joel Diaz toolers, he was getting hit a lot, and Teddy Atlas fixed some things up. No, Manny Pacquiao was punching you dead in your shit. He was whooping your ass, and you ain't want no more. So you retired after that. You got dropped twice, actually. You got dropped twice. That don't sound like a nigga who tighten up their defense. That's just me, though.
out there in Philadelphia, okay? I'm trying not to let it get there to that point where when you do step up in class, the Fendoras of the world, yeah, hopefully not Xander Zayas. I'm telling y'all right now, y'all lose to Xander Zayas, y'all ain't gonna never ever stop hearing me say, y'all better not lose. I'm just telling y'all right now, you better not lose. I'm putting money down on y'all, and I'm gonna show the tag. Y'all better not lose in those Xander Zayas. That's all I'm gonna tell you right now, boy, for real. Because you ain't gonna never hear the end of me, ever. Hell no. Yeah. So what I'm trying to get you guys to understand is, instead of taking what I'm saying, the criticism that I'm giving you, you should take it, bro, as a advice. Yes, advice.
Tell me, ain't nobody ask your ugly ass for advice, though. That's the crazy part. Like, ain't nobody barely phoning like, yo, how can I get better? Nigga, what the fuck is you talking about, bro? Like, why you feel like your word is like niggas have to listen to it? You feel what I'm saying? That's one. Then on top of that, like I said, like you sitting here acting like, oh, you ain't gonna hear the end of this. Bro, when you got that controversial ass win over Manny Pacquiao, you literally was talking about how you was down, you was all depressed because you was getting all this criticism and all that shit. So you was literally down in the dumps. Bro, I swear to God, I think he even talked about self-harm and all that shit. When he got criticized for that Manny Pacquiao win, he said all the Manny Pacquiao fans was coming at him, and he felt real down and out about it and all that. But here you go, trying to do the same shit to other niggas because you went through it. You know what I'm saying? So you over here vowing that if Boots come up short to Xander's eyes, you're gonna criticize him for the rest of his career. He never gonna hear enough of it. But when you went through that, you was talking about possibly hurting yourself. That's what you was talking about. You was getting so much hate mail that you literally put yourself into a depression. But here you go about to do that to somebody who look like you. See, this is why I don't fuck with niggas like Tim Bradley. He's a fucking clown. He's a clown. You hate when niggas did it to you, but here you go about to do that to somebody else who don't even pay you no mind or even acknowledge you. I'm about to pull up that fucking article, bro. And Tim Bradley was talking about that shit. Yeah, look, like this shit is on BBC.com. That's a wild ass. You know what I mean? But that is a media outlet. But if you look at this right here, this is Tim Bradley, though. This the nigga who be talking all this bullshit. He talk all this, all he do is talk shit about niggas. Oh, you giving advice. Nigga, you talking about you giving advice, but then you're literally saying that you're going to shit on that person if they come up short in a fight. Now, this is when Tim Bradley won a fight. This is BBC.com. And it says, Timothy Bradley considered self-harm, unaliving himself after Manny Pacquiao win. Y'all could go ahead and read this. Tim Bradley said he considered unaliving himself because of abuse he received following his controversial points win over Manny Pacquiao in 2012. So you over here making it seem like you was this dog. You was over here making it seem like you was built like that. And you was talking about how street. I remember Tim Bradley was talking about how street he was. And all. Nigga, you was about to unalive yourself from verbal abuse.
From cyberbullying.
Nigga, you the Desert Storm, and you was over here upset that you was getting cyberbullied. A grown-ass man. Bro, I'm gonna keep it real. I be getting death threats on here on a regular basis. All the time. I be having people DMing me, oh, I'm gonna do this to you. I'm gonna shoot your gym up. Oh, I'm gonna do this to your son. Blah, blah, blah. Nigga, you don't be seeing me on here ready to do something to myself because people over here bullying me online. Bro, that's the only, you know why I don't give a fuck? Because the internet ain't real. And that's the only time you ever gonna do some shit to me is online. I don't give a fuck about what you saying online, nigga. As long as that shit don't come within my perimeter in reality, you're safe. Keep it like that. You feel what I'm saying? So this is Tim Bradley who he act like you don't know this shit, but I've been watching boxing so long that I remember this. And I watched a lot of Tim Bradley interviews because I respect Tim Bradley for what he did in the sport. You know what I'm saying? But you over here, you was talking about unaliving yourself, considering unaliving yourself when you got a family. You had a family. You was willing to throw your own life away and say, fuck your family because niggas was talking shit about you online. But here you are, old as shit, fat as shit, looking dirty in the motherfucker. That shit got your fucking Carhartt Skelly balled the fuck up. You got lint all over the shit. And you over here talking about how you gonna criticize a nigga for the rest of his career if they come up short in a fight. You ain't no different than the niggas that had you ready to do something to yourself. You nut ass nigga. Fuck is you talking about?
Niggas just be saying anything.
Yeah, he's a fucking clown, bro. This is why and then he wants you to respect his boxing knowledge because he did all of this. Bro, you're a fucking goofy, nigga. You don't even respect the niggas who made you, help make you who you was. Throw some respect on Joel Diaz's name, nigga. He talking about, oh, this ain't a knock on Joel Diaz. Meanwhile, you ain't saying nothing positive about him. And you basically said in 2 fights with Teddy Atlas, you learned so much that you didn't learn from Joel Diaz. Nigga, you won like 4 or 5 world titles with Joel Diaz, you dumbass nigga. The biggest ones of your career came off of Joel Diaz, you nut ass nigga. What are you talking about? Anyways.
So quick to big up the white man.
Real rap, but don't want to big up. You bigging him up more than your own father. Shit crazy, bro. Shit crazy. Well, let's proceed.
That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. Fools, take it as advice. Yeah. So like when you say, well, Tim, you got hit a lot, you got this. Oh yeah, I got hit a lot. I dodged a lot of shots too, just like Booth moving his head and all that shit. Yeah, I had slip counters and all of that shit too. Yeah, that little pizzazz and all that. Yeah, I had all of that shit too. Yeah. Oh yeah. But it comes back and it bites you in the ass. Ask Roy Jones Jr. Ask Roy. Shit. Ask Roy. Yeah. So I'm not gonna be sitting here. You know what? I'll tell you what. Nah, fuck that. I ain't shutting the fuck up. I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, and I'm just gonna watch what happens. I'm gonna say what I'm gonna. I ain't finna. Nah, nah. I'm gonna be me. I don't give a damn. I'm gonna be me.
Say it, nigga.
Yep.
Be the coon, Bradley. You right. Go ahead, be the coon that you are. Go ahead, talk about that black man that you won't say about that white man. Go ahead and say it.
So, but what I'm trying to tell y'all is that I'm trying to help your ass. That's what I'm trying to do. I just don't critique y'all. I critique Xander Zayas. Why you think Xander Zayas got better?
Because of you?
That's
Xander Zayas
hilarious.
got better because of you? Is you in the gym with the nigga? Is you putting these reps in with him? You think he got better because you said something to him or he listened to your advice? The arrogance is real, bro. Like I hope Tim Bradley don't none of these young niggas look up to you, bro. Like niggas respect you, but don't none of these niggas look up to you. I never heard a nigga say that you was their favorite fighter. Never.
Or they inspiration to become a fighter.
Right. Like I never heard nobody be like, yo, who's your favorite fighter? The Desert Storm. Never heard that in my life.
I didn't even know that's what they called this nigga.
The nigga, yeah, that's his. Yeah. He was Tim the Desert Storm Bradley. That was his name, bro. Nobody see, and niggas don't even know your nickname. That's how you know you ain't had no impact on the game all like that. You got some good wins. I mean, you got that win over Pacquiao that a lot of people felt like you lost for real.
He did lose that fight.
You beat motherfucking Brandon Rios, who was washed the fuck up. You got some good wins though. You got the Nate Campbell John. I mean, you got some good Johns. I ain't gonna lie, but and you could definitely make a case that you a Hall of Famer. But it's like, bro, come on, bro, come on. Like you was never nobody's favorite fighter. I'm still trying to find somebody who feel like you their favorite fighter. You know what I'm saying. But you think he's pretty much saying Xander got better because he listened to his advice.
Why you think he got better? Shit. I called a lot of his fights. You know? Why you think all these guys are getting better, man? Because I'm not a yes man, pat on the back. Oh, when you do good, I'll pat you on the back. You did damn good. But when you doing good, but you making a lot of mistakes, I'm like, oh, you look, good job, but be careful, man, because I live this shit.
He really feel like niggas gotta listen to him because he did this before. You know how many niggas done? Boxing Nerd, bro. We already went over that. We went over that, Boxing Nerd. Salute though, brother. I appreciate that.
Yo, this nigga Cash called this nigga Tim Bradley boxing's best trash panda.
That's crazy. I ain't heard that term in a long time. Bro, that's a rare one. That boy J Cash vocab, that shit extensive for sure. But this motherfucker Tim Bradley feel like because he done did shit in the sport that niggas gotta listen to him. Like this entitlement is absolutely insane. Like there's a lot of people who feel like Tim Bradley shouldn't even be in the fucking Hall of Fame. For real. Not that I'm saying that, but I've heard people say that. They don't feel like Tim Bradley should be in the Hall of Fame. But regardless, he feel like because he lived this shit, because he did this shit, that motherfuckers is listening to him and they getting better because they listening to him. Oh, bro, I done commentated a lot of his fights. So you mean to tell me that Xander Zayas sat his ass down and watched his fights and just was dying to hear what you had to say about his performance?
Yeah.
Like, bro, no, I'm pretty sure a lot of these motherfuckers, when they watching their fights, they watching that shit on mute because they can't stand y'all niggas. For real. It's like, bro, when I hear, like, bro, Andre Ward was a much better commentator than you. And unlike you, Andre Ward had an impact on a younger generation where a lot of these fighters is like, yo, Andre Ward was my favorite fighter. I study Andre Ward. I never heard nobody say, yo, even though they can, I never heard nobody say, yo, man, I've been studying Tim Bradley, bro. Yeah, like no, nigga, like you fought Ruslan Provatnikov, was knocked out the majority of the fight, and you literally had you had trouble formulating words for like he said like 3 months. He said he couldn't talk straight for like 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Over here trying to tell niggas what they need to do with their career. Like cut it the fuck out, bro. Why you ain't do that when you had your career?
That nigga was punch drunk for 3 months.
Bro, he said that he still be doing like brain, he be doing like puzzles and shit to keep exercising his brain and shit because he still be having trouble with that shit. But he over here trying to tell niggas what they need to do. Philly, listen up. Why you bringing up the city, nigga? Is Boots Philly? Is Boots Philly? Boots is from Philly, but he ain't Philly. I'm from Philly. I ain't Philly. Why you bringing up a whole city to talk to?
The whole city don't box.
Yeah, the fuck is you talking about? Like niggas from a lot of niggas from Philly don't know who the fuck you is. So why is you telling them to listen up? Like I don't be understanding, bro. These niggas be so envious of the city, bro. And they ain't the only ones. I be looking online. Oh man, yo man, Philly, man, yo man. It usually be a lot of respect on our name, or niggas would be going out their way to talk shit about us for no reason. Because Philly don't even be worried about other boxing cities. Y'all surely love being worried about us. No, Tim got a lot of good wins, boxer sparring. I never say he didn't. They said Lorenzo said Tim Bradley lost an eyebrow putting that musty beanie on. That's crazy. That's crazy. Let's proceed.
Lived it. I'm a holiday famer. For real. Shit.
Oh,
straight.
You know how many Hall of Famers in the sport of boxing right now that's big ass haters? You ain't no different, nigga. Errol Spence was talking about that shit. He was talking about how the older generation, they don't really like the youth and they be hating on them niggas all the time. Like all that shit, bro. Like you being a Hall of Famer don't mean that niggas gotta listen to you. You not nigga think because he a Hall of Famer that he these young niggas OG, bro. Don't nobody care about your opinion. Ain't nobody looking for you, nigga. Should be frying me. Like a lot of the times when people reaching out to fighters, it'd be like guys like I said, Andre Ward, Floyd Mayweather, Terrence Crawford. Those are niggas that the younger generation be looking up to for advice. Not you. You known as that fat retired boxer that sit there and be eating chicken sandwiches and be hating on black fighters. That's what you be doing. Fucking them Popeyes chicken sandwiches up, calling fights, and doing whatever the fuck master tell you to do. You a sellout. Niggas see right through that shit. They don't respect you, bro.
Up. So stop taking this shit to heart, man, and just listen.
No.
I give out free game. I be giving out free game.
So
stop crossing your feet when you go right. Stop doing that. You're not set. Your base is off. What's wrong with that? You don't see it in the film? You don't? Can I point it out to you? You want me to help you? Stop doing that, bro. You know? There's a lot of shit. Stop gathering your damn feet. Your base. You don't have a base to punch. If people start paying attention to footwork, man, because footwork gonna get you in and out of danger. That's what footwork gonna get you in to letting punches fly and out of danger. So I pay attention to footwork of all these guys. I'm looking at different situations that you can be in or may possibly be taken advantage of. Yeah, taken advantage of. With the right set of eyes. Yes. So, look. They say I ain't allowed in Philly.
Who said that? Who said that? Do Philly got a fucking spokesman? That told
Rodney
you
said that.
Who the fuck said? No, seriously, who said that this nigga's not allowed in Philly? Who said that?
Yeah, nobody.
I want to know who said that. Boo say that? I never heard Boo say that. What are you talking about? Who told you that? Nair Albright? The fuck? Like, who the fuck told you that you can't be in Philly, bro?
Probably got into a problem with one of them niggas.
Well, you guys in luck. I ain't going to Philly. Ain't nobody I know. Ain't nobody I know in Philly. I'm not going to Philly.
We didn't invite you, dickhead. What the fuck? I ain't going to Philly anyway. Cool. Nobody requesting you. And ain't nobody say you can't come here. He literally just making shit up. Who the fuck said he can't come to Philly? I'm still waiting. Nigga banned himself. Facts. Facts, Jay. Fuck is he talking about? But like, cool. I don't want to go there anyway. Okay, nobody invited you. The fuck?
It is what it is. But say what you want to say. I'm gonna say what I want to say. So just letting y'all know, I'm trying to help y'all ass. Anyways, Tim Desert Storm Bradley, you already know the damn rest, and I'm out. Oh, Tim Desert Storm Bradley.
That nigga's a window licker.
Bro, Red, he's a weirdo, bro. I'm trying to tell you, that dude. Then he feel like he be trying to put it like he be trying to school niggas, but you be hating the whole time. So you be hating on niggas, then you be trying to get these niggas game, and then you just want them to have some. You want them to receive your information well. Like, no, you already set the tone with the hate and shit. Now you want niggas to open their ears and listen to you.
Because he want to see himself in other niggas. Pause.
Yeah, like imagine you hating on a nigga. Imagine you hating on a nigga, then you trying to school him after the fact, and then you just want to just listen, like retain your information. Like, oh yeah, I'm definitely no nigga. Fuck you. Like, and you ain't the only knowledgeable nigga out here. That's another thing. You ain't the only one who giving game. You ain't the only one who done live that life. There's a million niggas like you in this boxing shit that done live that life. That could give Boots valuable advice that he can learn from. You ain't the only one. So why you inserting yourself in this equation? Because you trying to get clicks, you trying to get views. When as far as to mention the whole city for some type of attention, that even nigga, yeah. Who said that? This nigga self-exiled. This nigga exiled himself from the city of Philadelphia. When ain't nobody ever said he couldn't be here. But you a West Coast nigga. You ain't got no business being here. Why you even bringing up the idea? Then you come to Philly when Better Beeve and Vos Dick fought. I bet you come here if Master tell you to. I bet you a Bob Aaron be like, hey Tim, we're going over to Philly. Pack your bag. This nigga gonna get his bags ready with the quickness. You gonna do whatever the fuck Master tell you, nigga. Cut it the fuck out, man. I don't be buying that shit Tim selling, bro. Is he knowledgeable? Yes. Can he give out some valuable game? Yes. But like your wife said, Tim, that's how you say it. You got a lot of, and your wife know you a hater just based off that. She know that you a hater. What's my honest assessment of Boots' skills? I think, contrary to BT, I think he's a complete fighter because Boots has shown that he's able to do it all. You know what I mean? Like I said, when we're talking about his versatility offensively, he has that down pat. He has every punch in the book. You know what I mean? And he could shoot every shot at an elite level, and he's extremely accurate. Defensively, he has been getting hit more, often in fights. But when you get overly aggressive, that is something that comes with that. Pretty boy Floyd faced that early on in his career, and he went on to be a defensive master in his own right. We see Shakur Stevenson, be overly aggressive in that William Cepeda fight, and that was the most we ever seen him get hit. That's what comes with the game. You know what I'm saying? So Boots is very versatile defensively because he could catch shots, he could slip shots, he could use his side-to-side movement to get out of range. There's a variety of ways that Boots has shown to be able to defend himself, and I've seen Jaron Ennis use the Philly shell as well. So that's another form of defense. Along with that, he's also shown ring IQ. He sets traps, he utilizes his feints really well. He always isn't, just like BT said, he's always comfortable in his fights. And the reason why he's comfortable in his fights is because he has an IQ as to where he always finds a way to remain in control. He showed that he could lead. He showed that he could counter. He's shown that he could box on the inside. He could fight at mid-range. He could fight on the outside. I don't know how, and I could provide multiple examples as to why I feel the way that I feel. He has great finishing ability. He has power. He has great punch placement. I don't know what else there is to say. You know what I'm saying? But he has great physical attributes as well. Great conditioning, good hand speed. You know, he has a good height for the weight. You know what I mean? Great reach. He has a good reach for his height as well. I think he has like a 74-inch reach, and he's 5'10", 5'11". That's a 6'2" reach. So he has some great abilities as well. So I think, and I think he's shown mental fortitude in his past fights because, you know, he's continued to chip away. Even when the rounds was getting long, he was still able to get late finishes. You know what I mean? Karen Chukazan provided two. He provided that last fight where they were just sitting in the pocket and trading the whole time. He was able to show mental fortitude, you know, and that as well. Boots has shown to be an elite fighter in the amateur and the professionals. And I think Boots only lost to one nigga in the amateurs, and it was Gary Antoine Russell. So it's like Boots, all in all, has shown to be an elite level fighter, and he's one of the most skilled fighters in the sport of boxing. One of the most complete fighters in the sport of boxing as well. Just my opinion.
Yeah, nah, I'm trolling.
Out of Powell said you're gonna get hit more in higher levels, better competition. Yeah, facts, but I don't even think it's as he's raising up the level of competition. I just think that when you get overly aggressive, shots come back. And when you're being overly aggressive, you're not being defensive minded. If you're not being defensive minded, you're more liable to be hit. It's pretty simple, but motherfuckers want to choose to take that route to try to you know, criticize Boots instead of trying to understand the situation. I never seen anybody who got overly aggressive that didn't get hit back. You know what I'm saying? So that's my take on the whole situation, man. And I'm about to wrap this live up. It's about to be 2 in the morning. I need to go ahead and get some sleep because I do have work. So, Slime, do you got any last words for the people?
No, sir.
Okay. No crazy statements or nothing like that.
Nah, never mind. I was gonna force it. Never mind.
Oh man, he gonna keep it short and sweet today. All right, y'all. Shout out to the nation. Shout out to the mob for coming through and showing love as always. If y'all can go ahead and hit the like button on the way out, that'd be very much appreciated. We're on the road to 4K. We well into the 3,400 mark. Looking to crack that 3,500 mark in due time. I'll be back at y'all with another live 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow to continue cooking up on what's going on in the sport of boxing. Until then, I hope you guys have a blessed, beautiful one. I'm up out of here, man. Peace.